the Noisy Chair podcast. And to let everyone know why the creation of the Noisy Chair happened, well, people wanted to share their story, concerns, and being loud. Well, I'm here to listen, have an opinion, and talk to people. That's what this is all about. My name is Dave, aka DJ Dave. Love being part of a new journey with amazing people on my podcast. Well. Welcome to the Noisy Chair Podcast, Season 2, Episode 205. I'm your host, DJ Dave, and with me as my guest in the studio is fucking legendary DJ Junior Lopez. Welcome to the studio, man.
What's up, my brother? Thank you for having me. What's up, everybody out there?
This is amazing. This is, and I have to say that we were supposed to have Michelle Diva here in the house as my co-host. Right. And sorry that she couldn't make it today. She's coming from downtown, and logistically it was a bit of a nightmare a little bit, but it's okay. It's all good. Michelle, she's going to be online, and she's going to check us out, and she'll be with us in spirit and online. So, dude, I'm super stoked you're here, man.
Oh, thank you for having me, man. You got a great thing going on over here. I want to thank you, man. This is incredible. I love it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. We are live, so we're not recording. We're not. There's no editing. It's strictly live.
No pressure, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I think the pressure can be taken off with a little bit of beverages later on. You never know.
It's 2:00 somewhere in the world, right?
Exactly. Oh yeah. We are live on Facebook. We are live on Twitch. We're live on Twitter. We are live on YouTube. We're live on like 6 different channels, and it'll be recorded as well, so that we're gonna put this up on Spotify. So you can send the links to your crew and say, let's check us out. This is where we're at. So I'm glad you're here, man. This is it's about just the podcast is about sharing your musical journey, sharing your story about your business. And just life around it all, man, just about being a DJ.
And what people don't know is that we were trying to get this date, and it just didn't work out. Like, it was hit and miss. Dave was busy, I was busy, but here we are, ladies and gentlemen.
We're here. Yeah. And I know that your work takes you during early hours.
3 a.m. in the morning every day, man.
So then when you come home, you're like, oh my God. And plus, I just found out you're from Innisfil, so you got to drive all the way down here, but you work downtown.
That's right.
So to come up here to do a podcast, I think Saturday was the best day.
The best day, man.
And it's a beautiful day out today, man.
Yeah.
It's fucking October, yeah. and I'm loving this weather.
Oh yeah. What's up, Toronto?
Yes, big up. Michelle, I'm sorry you couldn't be here, but I'm glad you're listening in, and you'll be hopefully chatting up the chat room and seeing everybody on here. Let's see, we've got some people online that are. Let's see what we got here. I'm trying to figure out how do we even get to this chat room business going on, but we've got people online that are tuning in. So, private, no, on the stream. Okay, this is going to be pissing me off now. I want to see what people have to say about it, but let's. I'm going to pull up I'll pull up my Facebook. If everyone's tuning in, tune into the Facebook.com/Noisy Chair Podcast. And just just be online and check us out, and we'll be here. I'm just gonna turn the volume off on this down here. 1 second. We are live. This is all done live, so unfortunately, just want to make sure that we're good. Perfect. All right, so we can see the podcast on here through Michelle Diva welcoming us to the podcast, and with Junior Lopez. Man, I wish you were here, Michelle.
Yeah,
it's all good. It's all good. But listen, I want to thank everyone who's tuning in. So let's fucking start, man. We've got this is a great platform just to shoot the shit and talk about music and talk about you, man.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Where did Junior get his start in life, man? Born and raised.
So I was made in Ecuador. But my adopted mother is Canada, and I love her so much.
Awesome, man.
Right? I was born there in 71, got here in 72, and never looked back since. I'm a proud Ecuadorian, but I'm a very proud Canadian, and that's something that I actually instilled in my 3 children. My wife,
3 kids.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
my wife's Italian. She's a perfect mix, perfect salad. She's calabrese abruzzese. So,
Oh my God,
yes.
that's what I am, man.
So I never win an argument at home, right? At the end of the day.
Yes.
So I got twin boys, and I got a beautiful daughter that teaches me something new every single day about life and about just everything, man. I'm blessed. Sometimes I have to pinch myself. You know what? I'm not trying to dump on DJing and the industry and all that, but to me, the most important thing is family. It is children. And I got to pinch myself sometimes and go, what did I do to deserve this? You know, like, thank you so much, Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you so much, God, for, and thank you to my wife for giving us these beautiful children, you know,
dude.
But yeah. Born in Ecuador, but raised Canadian 100%. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And where you're, and you're living up in.
So we live in Innisfil. Yeah. We've been there for about 16 years now. Okay. And it's a great environment. Unfortunately, something bad really happened, you know, like last week with the police officers, and my heart goes out to them and their families. It's unfortunate that this world, a lot of mental health illness is just going unnoticed. We should be looking at all that. I don't mean to get deep, ladies and gentlemen, I don't mean to get deep on that, but it's just unfortunate because there could be someone standing beside you that actually needs help, and we're not being able to read what it is that they need. So let's look out for that, everybody. You know, like, let's not make fun of people. Let's not hate. Let's just look out for that. That's something my daughter taught me. You know, but yeah, Innisfil, it's the bomb.
But you know what? Just to go back to that, you know, it is a big thing. Mental health. I'm a huge advocate of mental health awareness. And that's what it is, being aware.
That's right.
And when you said about someone beside you, you may not know that they may have some issues or may have concerns that you need to me, is that I would be all over that. Like, hey man, how's your day going?
That's right.
Or how you doing today?
That's right.
That's all it may take to say, you know what, fuck this guy, this person took time to say hi to me.
Yeah,
right?
you know, sometimes people will, you know, talk to you and say something, and because life is so quick, you may not even be paying attention. But you know what, if we just took a second and paid attention to what the person's actually saying, you might pick up on something and say, you know what, at the end of the day, bro, I'm your homie, you know, just call me if there's anything you need. It could be something simple like breaking up with someone, you know, with a partner and whatnot, and they need you for that moment. But if you're not there, we've heard the horror stories, you know, a lot of people fall into depression, drinking, drugs and whatnot, right? Yeah. So let's share love, ladies and gentlemen. Let's spread the love, you know.
We need to spread the love and we need to spread awareness. And that's a big thing, right? And especially with, you know, like if you have with your family, and we're not going to go down a deep path of that, because that's, you know, it is something that is deep in my heart to you know, talk about mental health. We all suffer. We're all affected by it. Yeah. You know, and there's always going to be a trigger. There's always going to be an escape, you know, which, you know, my family and my music is my escape. You know, coming down to the studio is my escape. You know, if I'm having a shitty day or you know, you just want to take it, you just want to cleanse your mind, clear it up. You know, I'll go for a drive. Yeah. You know, I'll take my dog out and just say, you know what, fuck everybody. Yeah. I'm here. I'm just going to clear my mind up, right? So it is. I'm happy you recognize and you're aware that, you know, we need to be more involved in that. Yeah. Okay. Now, family, twin boys and a girl is beautiful. It's a beautiful family. And when you were growing up as a young junior, you know, tell us about, you know, I guess, your music, where you started to get into it, or what inspired you to get into music? Well,
the way it all started is way back in, let's say, 74, around that age, 74, 75, that year. My father was actually one of 3 Latino DJs here in Toronto. One being Calero, the other one was Rey Trujillo, rest in peace. And my father, there were 3 DJs here in Toronto. Mind you, they were doing one-offs and, you know, corporate events and whatnot. And the Latin community was just still building, just still, you know, making their mark and leaving their footprint in the world. And I was exposed to carrying crates, hooking up sound systems, watching my father DJ for all these people, all Hispanics. But what was missing is they didn't mix, they didn't blend, they didn't beat match.
It was all one after the other.
Yeah, so the song is just about to finish and they blend in the next one, right? So so I didn't really take an interest in it until 1983.
Okay.
So what you got to understand is I have deep roots with New York City.
Right.
Because I used to spend every summer in New York City because we have family there, uncles and aunts and whatnot. Right. So I was exposed to breakdancing before anybody in Toronto. I was exposed to graffiti. I was exposed to, you know,
that
art.
whole hip hop era.
Yeah, man. Like that's when we used to call it rap, you know, and now it's called hip hop, right?
Yeah.
So I was exposed to, you know, the Rocksteady crew, New York City Breakers. I was exposed to,
nice.
Yeah, to like Shell Toes. You know, like that's why I wear the Yankee hat. You know, like I was exposed to all that, and here I am at home, and I used to rush home every day after school. So this is 83. I'd be 12 years old. I'd rush home just to watch Toronto Rocks. All right, at 4 p.m. with J.D. Roberts. I'm pretty sure you remember.
Oh
that.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So we had Toronto Rocks, and we used to have City Limits on Friday night.
Right.
So I rushed home to watch Toronto Rocks, and lo and behold, there was a video playing. This is the one that changed my life. It was Buffalo Gals, and it was Malcolm McLaren, the world famous Supreme Team. Right. So I'm watching this video, and I see the DJ scratching. And I go, what the heck is that guy doing? I go, listen to that.
Yeah.
And then a light bulb went off, and I looked behind me, and I go, wait a second. My dad has those things. Those things are called turntables. And that's where it all started. I just wanted to mimic. I wanted to do what he was doing. Right. And you know how difficult it was to learn how to DJ when you're using salsa, cumbia, merengue, charanga, and
I can only imagine.
There was no beat machine, no drum machine. It was actual instruments. And to try to beat match when some guy's just singing some Spanish gibberish in the background, you don't know what the hell. There's no break. There's no nothing, right? So needless to say, I ruined a lot of my father's vinyls, right? Just trying to scratch, right? Trying to learn. But that's where it all started. And by the time I was 14 years old, my biggest fan in the world, which is my mom, we flew out to New York City to buy my very first turntables. I saved and saved and saved.
My God, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, man. And I remember my uncle buying me my styluses. He bought me my very first cartridges, my needles, the mats and everything. And that's where it all started, like just watching that. And I was the kid in school that always had the headphones on and the Walkman, so when people are like, what are you listening to? Well, I'm listening to Kraftwerk. What the hell's Kraftwerk? I'm listening to Africa Bambaataa. I'm listening to Grandmaster Flash. I'm listening to Kool Herc. And these were all bootlegs. These were all cassette tapes that were bootlegs that we used to buy on the street.
Nice.
They were mixtapes.
Right.
Yeah.
You buy them on the streets.
Yeah. So then I would bring these tapes home and try my hardest to copy the actual mixes that they were doing. Not to bite, not to go and do it live anywhere, but to actually try to do exactly what they were doing. So my very first booking was in 83 when I was 12 years old. And I'll never forget this girl, Rosemary. I know she's not watching. I haven't talked to her since 86. But she booked me to do her confirmation, right? And here I'm talking to all my friends and everybody. We're all trying to collect records just to make one crate. Like just one crate. You know what I mean? And I did her confirmation party, and I remember being 12 years old, and I got paid $400 back then. But it wasn't even about the money.
Right.
It wasn't about the money. It was like, holy cow, I'm making everybody dance. Young people, old people. Okay, she's reading the Rosemary, but the Rosary. She's reading the Rosary, but that's okay.
Yeah.
She's probably thinking I'm going to hell because I'm playing some reggae or something, some dance hall or whatnot.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for her and Malcolm McLaren, I wouldn't have this thing in my system, which I call music DNA, right? So music was my first girlfriend. Music was my first crush. Music was
first love, man.
My first everything, right? And that's why I tell everybody, it's not, I don't do this to live. I live to do this.
Right.
That's just how it is. And it's
well said, man.
And it's not who I am, it's what I am.
Well said, buddy.
Right?
Well said.
But that's how it started.
Paul Alfano, big up to Paul. He's on Twitch right now.
What's up, Paulo?
He's watching in. If anyone's tuning in, guys, just tune in and just give us a little shout out. I'm trying to find everybody on the chat room because we're on all these platforms and I'm trying to get all these chats, and it's it's not coming up on where I want it to be. But
that's because we started pre-drinking, ladies and gentlemen. That's the truth.
Yes, it is. Salud.
Salud, buddy.
I don't know if this might go well with a little bit of vodka though.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I dropped some vodka in there for sure. So for those that can't see the studio here, this is a crazy vibe. I didn't know this gentleman right here. On his wall, he has two of my biggest influences in music. One being Bob Marley, the king himself. And right behind him, he's got royalty. He's got Prince. And as soon as I walked in, I showed him the tattoo on my neck. I got
Shivers.
Prince on my neck.
Shivers on my fucking back when I saw
So crazy. Great minds think alike. And the most important thing, to my right, he's got a bar full of booze. Yeah.
You know what? It's all good. We got a best of everything, you know?
Yeah.
Got the DJ booth. He's gonna, maybe if we entice him to play some tracks.
I'm down.
But other than that, this is like I'm happy. I'm stoked you're here. I'm going to talk about life, talk about your music, and you got these turntables, and we've all started that way. We all started with vinyls, right?
Yeah,
I remember when my dad's songs and his vinyl and my mother's records, but. So you got into it. You did your first gig, which was back in the day. Look at my dog's trying to barge in. So back there, you're doing your first gig, which is awesome. Back in '83.
Yeah, '83.
And to get that kind of money back then.
Oh yeah.
And it's not about the money. You said it right. It's about hey man, I made these people dance.
That's
right. Now when you got into your first gig. So you looked around my studio and you saw Prince, you saw Bob Marley, those two, and I have U2 behind me.
Yeah.
Those two were my inspiration, and it's right in there. Those two were my inspiration, and I think based on fucking beautiful tattoo on your neck that Prince was your inspiration for music.
You know what?
As an artist.
Yeah. Listen, Prince. Someone asked me once. So what genre is Prince? And the simple answer is Prince, because he's not rock, he's not funk, he's not soul. His sound is Prince. And yes, as much as I love him and everything, this question is so broad because I can name you Johnny Cash because I love Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
I can talk to you about AC/DC because I love AC/DC. I could even talk to you about Rush, Geddy Lee. All right. And then I can go all the way back to Grandmaster Flash and Kool Herc and Africa Bambaataa and Kraftwerk. Right. I can talk about them. So for me to tell you my influence, you know what? Bottom line, my influence is just music. That's all it is. Because coming up as an open format DJ, it's so difficult to... You know what? At the end of the day, I don't know anybody that just listens to one genre. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. You're not a music person if you don't.
That's right. It's like saying, okay, I live in Toronto and I've never traveled and I don't want to travel. You know what? You have to travel. You have to see the world. And it's the same with music. When someone turns around and I hear them on the job site and say, oh man, what's that guy playing? Country? Yeah, this is a beautiful song. What do you mean it's a beautiful song? Listen to the lyrics, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know how much went into making this one song?
Yeah.
How much of his blood, sweat, heart, and soul
Right.
just went into making this one song? Show the artist some respect.
Yeah.
Show the band some respect. And just take a minute and listen to
Yeah.
it. So my influences, it's just so broad. I can't nail it down to one. But my favorite artist of all time it has to be Prince, and then a very strong second, like very, very strong second, is Hector Lavoe. Rest in peace, Louis Vega's uncle. He was...
Oh, wow.
That's right, Hector Lavoe. Like, he's the king of salsa, will always be the king of salsa. And as a matter of fact, now that I'm doing this house music genre, which I love, you can actually hear that influence in my sound. I will put in so many Hector level remixes, or maybe not even the remix. I'll just grab a little sound bite and I'll loop it
of an original,
you know. And whether you are Latino or not, I don't know anybody that hasn't been to, let's say, Cuba, Acapulco, or the Dominican, but when you hear our tropical sound, all of a sudden your shoulder starts moving. You don't realize why your shoulder's moving. Then all of a sudden your hips start moving. You don't realize why.
Oh yeah.
But with a combination of a good crowd, a good venue, and some really good booze, you know, you got yourself a party. Your
good
dog
people.
is so sweet. She's so sweet. She's
is she
right
right
here?
there?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's all right. She's cool. She's okay.
Oh yeah, I love dogs.
I love
all animals.
You can see her on the screen there.
She's right here. She's right here.
But you know, I want to welcome Michelle. She's on Twitch right now in the channel. Househead Speaks from Chicago. Antoine, good to see you. Good
What's
to see
up,
you.
Chicago?
Yes,
that's
man.
where it all started. House music.
I tell you, look, she closes it. She's amazing. This is awesome. I mean, I'm loving the fact that that the inspiration of the Latino and the music genre back then, but also I'm a big fan of you enjoying other music and embracing it, because you know we have to embrace the other types of genres.
That's right.
You know, to make it because that also, to me, is that it will give you the an idea for a next track or however it may be. But I love entertainment, the music. I love watching a live band, as we talk about offline. You know, just because it's powerful. It's music in you.
That's right.
Just playing records and being a DJ playing records really doesn't. It's not going to do anything for anybody.
That's right.
Okay, you could be a record DJ, like a radio DJ, just play records after records. But you know, with a DJ and an entertainer or a live band, they're gonna tell you a story to the people. You know, whether you play, you know, whatever genre you play, you're playing a story. You're creating a story for them, right?
Absolutely.
And they're on the dance floor, listening to you, reading to you, and feeling the vibe in their soul, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, whoever can't stand there and doesn't enjoy beautiful Latin, the drums, the trumpets, you know, the vocals, and they shouldn't enjoy music.
No, you're right about telling a story. You know, as a performer, or as a DJ, an artist, a producer, or whatever it is you are in the industry. I remember going back in May at the Wiggle Room, and someone said something that resonated with me, that I've heard many times, and I've never taken it for granted. And that was Fabian Bostencina. You know, he's a Toronto-based producer.
Big up to Fabian.
Yeah, and Fabian turns around and says to me, he goes, "Listen, man, I just met him. That was the night I met him."
Oh, was it really? Okay.
Yeah, and he turned around and he said, "Buddy," he goes, "you took us on a journey." You know, and I've always heard that, and I've always kept it in my head. Okay, we got to take him on a journey. We got to take him on a journey. And that night, you know, I filled in for Saliva Commandos with 24-hour notice, you know, and I want to thank Paulo Fano, One Level One, for that, for having the trust, the faith, and the confidence in me to come in and spin. And it was literally the first time in a big, on a big stage to actually spin with Mr. G Money himself, with the legendary G Money, right? And I go, what an honor, right? But to hear someone like Fabian Bostencina turn around and say, you know, you took us on a journey. And what he means is, I was playing some, you know, LNR, Work It to the Bone. You know what I mean? Like, I was playing some old school stuff.
Old classics,
man. Yeah, and I was adding my little, you know, taste to it, my seasoning. I was putting my own seasoning to it, right? Own little twist to it,
Your
right?
little rub.
And I was just so happy, man. And it just took off after that. It's only been 5 months. It's crazy. It's only been 5 months. I took an 11-year hiatus. 11 years I didn't do anything.
That's what we were going to talk about that down in the show. An 11-year hiatus.
Yeah, bro.
5 months.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Thank you, God. Thank you, God.
Hey, man. You know, I 11 years. You know, everyone does when we you know, we'll talk about this. We'll dive into it now. It's like, you know, back in the 80s where we got into the music and you got into your partying, your gigs. When did it stop for you? Or when did it slow down for you when you were playing?
Okay, so you know, a very, very personal, I guess someone told me something that it's just very personal, and it means the world to me. they said to me just recently, they go, look, I've followed you ever since '83, and you chose to have children. You chose a home over DJing. And this person turned around and said to me, and believe me, I don't brag. I don't big myself up. I'm a very humble cat, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the day, there are so many great DJs just sitting on the bench. They're at home. I know because I was one of them. You'll never hear me say that, yes, I'm good or I'm great. I think everybody's great. I think we're all equal. But they said to me, you wouldn't be here if you would have kept going. You'd probably be in New York. You'd probably be in Ibiza. Like you'd probably be in Chicago. Who knows where you would be? But the fact that you chose, a career, home, family, kids, that's epic. And I'm like, I know I made the right choice. Now, that being said, I turned down so many gigs. Just like One Level One alone, just Paul alone, in the past 11 years, and he can verify this, I turned down so many events. And it wasn't because I was shy. It wasn't because I didn't think I was worthy. It was because I want to stay home and I want to go over that science project that my daughter's working on. This is a little more important to me,
Respect, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, right. DJing, it'll always be there for me. Spinning will always be there for me. But I won't always be there for my kids. That's why I wouldn't die a happy person, Like I'll stay as long as I can to make sure my kids will be all right. I can't leave this fucking planet knowing that my kids still need me. Like I want to be able to say, look, my kids are all right. They're doing fine, And at the end of the day, I strived to make sure that they're better than me. And shit, man, they're better than me. It's crazy. And I'm so fucking proud of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So it's not that it's slowed down or anything. It's not that I wasn't getting called, because I was doing a lot of corporate events. I was working for Liberty Entertainment for many years. And just people didn't know. Like when I was doing a fashion show and 600 people show up,
right.
Or when I was opening, let's say for Carl Wolf and Craig Smart, like people didn't know that. Like, and I wasn't advertising it or anything, just doing my thing. Job done, close up my laptop, grab my bag, and then just go home to my kids. That's it, right?
Craig Smart's a big boy. Eh?
Oh yeah, Craig Smart, incredible! What a voice, what a talent! My God, we'll talk about that guy later. We'll talk about how I met him. It was just really crazy. But yeah, like as much as I loved it and everything, what this world is about, what life is about, it's about sacrifices, and sometimes. You know what? I shouldn't even say sacrifice, because I didn't sacrifice. I just made the right choice.
That's right. You can't say sacrifice.
Yeah, that's wrong. Yeah.
No, and you didn't say it in a bad way. Yeah. I mean, it is more of like that's a direction you chose.
That's right.
It's a decision you made.
That's right.
Just like how we all did at that age. We're like, okay, you know what? A career is what I need to focus on.
That's right.
And you meet your beautiful wife.
Yeah.
We have beautiful children. I mean, I have 3 boys. You have 3 kids. 3 is a new norm, by the way, to have kids. Right?
My favorite number 2.
And listen, I get it, man. It is. In the end, we would never change it for the world.
No, man. No.
Okay?
No.
Because it's like, as DJs, we are replaceable.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So when we do perform, or when we do our gigs, we put our heart and soul and passion into it to make it 100% like perfect.
That's
okay.
Right.
So if you don't, someone else is going to come in and take your spot.
That's right.
Okay. So you're always putting your heart and soul to it. So I get it, but you know what? We would never turn back on what we've done and the decisions we've made, because that is. That's just the decision we went, the path we chose.
And what's so cool about this is that now I'm doing all these gigs again, and my kids are coming. You
Dude,
know?
oh my God, man.
Yeah, my
amazing.
biggest fans. My
amazing.
biggest fans are showing up. You know, like
Love
a
it.
lot of the video footage that you see out there is all shot by my daughter, right? Like my daughter's the one that takes care of my whole Instagram account. My wife
dude,
takes care of the
that's awesome,
Facebook
man.
account. Yeah, because I mean, Daddy has to get up at 3:00 in the morning, man, to go friggin' bust my ass, you know, to put that home, you know, for that friggin' mortgage, you know. But yeah, they come to the events now, and I'll be honest, like. Yeah, I can see, you know, 500-600 people. It don't matter how many people are there.
Right.
I feel so good when my family's there.
Right.
You know, whether it's a cousin, an aunt, or my kids, it feels so good. You know, like to have your family amazing. There. Yeah.
The support, the love that you feel from that.
That's right.
Keeps you going.
Yeah, it does.
You know, keeps
you
you going.
Can't compare it. You can't compare it. Like, I've met so many beautiful people in the past 5 months, like incredible people, like Michelle Diva, for example.
Yeah.
Like I've met so many, yourself, like so many great people, and they all have big hearts and they're all supportive and everything. But when you see out in the crowd, oh, there's my little girl, there's my girl, she's dancing it up. It's like it's a little different, you know what I mean? It gets you right in the heart, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like I just stuck another Energizer battery in my back, and I just want to do even better. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. No, you have to, man. And we see everybody online here. We got I got Paul, Michelle. We got Stevie J is a good friend of mine. He's a big supporter of our music.
Big up, Steve.
Yeah, man. And he's awesome. He's a cool cat, great friend of the family.
Nice.
We say family. You know, friends and family. We say it that way. I'm really intrigued by the fact that we are similar styles of life growing up and becoming a DJ and then taking the time to do things that we we wanted to do.
That's right.
So amazing. Now you took the little hiatus or the family side, the career path you chose, and you got into but music was always still in with you. Like you always be playing records, spinning some music.
I was always current.
Always current,
yeah.
Right? And that's perfectly said, because you always you don't want to just leave and then all of a sudden try to catch up.
I could never leave it. For me, it's like breathing. It literally is. Like my wife can confirm this. Like if I don't at least 2 hours a week, if I don't practice, and yes, by the way, boys and girls, you got to practice. It don't matter how old you are. Ronaldo practices, Messi practices, you got to practice, right? Yep. If I don't do that for at least 2 hours a week, I lose my shit. I have to. And I'm downloading music every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day. And that didn't stop even through that hiatus, and never stopped, right? And you know what? Birthday parties and whatnot through those 11 years, my daughter turns around, Daddy, I'm bringing friends over and everything. Would you mind spinning for my kid? Absolutely.
100%.
You know? And then I go, I'll send you the bill in the mail. That's all.
And then when it says, I love you.
That's right.
That's all it's going to say.
That's right.
You know? That's cool, man. I love that. Playing the music, you know, obviously there was no transition. You're always a big music fan, so you know, house wasn't really all that you played or you thought about playing. You know, you know, looking at your social media and just researching a bit. You know, freestyle was always, it's always in our blood. I love it.
Yo, bro, freestyle. I love freestyle. I'm a freestyle head. I'm a freestyle junkie. Growing up in the neighborhood, Jane and Finch, I'm telling you, the epic house parties. Let me say something about house parties.
Yes.
As much as I love clubs and festivals, and nothing ain't better than a house party, an old school house party.
Right.
And back in the day, I was the Latino representative in Jane and Finch, doing all the freestyle, you know, like going back to La Luna, La Rotonda, you know, the cave and all, like way back in the day, right? As a matter of fact, quick story about that. I was just too young. I was 16 years old. And I believe it was Ministry and Dynasty sound crew that were residents at La Rotonda. And they were bringing Trenier. All right. And someone suggested, yo, why don't you get this guy here? You know, the young kid to open for Trenier.
Right.
So I went and I auditioned, and they're like, yeah, you know what? He's the right man. Even though it's just a kid with zits on my face and stuff, right? But they're like, he's so talented. Yeah, let's get him to open for Trenier. But then someone stepped in and said, you know what, he's too young. He doesn't even have a contract. Back then, everybody had contracts. You remember that? Like, you know, there's a little contract. You got to sign it, whatnot. He doesn't have contacts. He doesn't have this. He doesn't have that. All he has is the Jane and Finch boys. Oh, we don't want to bring Jane and Finch boys here. Well, guess what? 400 of them show up. And they thought I was going to open, and 400 of them showed up that night to watch Trinier. So can you imagine if I did open for her back then? Big up to Trinier. Oh, man.
Big up.
And you know what? Rest in peace, Joy Sims, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I know for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And they're all coming back. I mean, they're all like, you know, like for instance, you know, Little Susie.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Love her. You know, her and I keep in touch every once in a while.
Nice.
And when she came to Toronto to Vaughan to play at I don't know, some banquet hall, Princess Event Center.
Yeah.
And she's like, gonna be playing here. I said, no problem. So my wife and I wasn't gonna, you know, I said, oh, that's great. No, good luck to you, whatever. So anyways, my wife says we're gonna go see Little Susie play. I'm like, fuck, great, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And you know what? She's just the vibe that they bring back from the day that she was there when in their 20s or teens, you know, they're still there and they're still like, you know, I that's what still keeps me going. I love that, time. You know. So big up to Little Susie, Trinier, you know, Shannon. We have, you know, Stevie B. I mean,
the whole Puerto Rican connection, because you know what, at the end of the day, a lot of people may or may not know this, but you know how freestyle was created in New York, in the Bronx, and it was created by Puerto Ricans. You know, big up to my Latino people out there. You know, because when you look at all their last names, when you look at like Stevie B, the king himself, he's half Dominican, half Puerto Rican, right? So every single one of them, with the exception of, let's say, Shannon, they were all Puerto Rican.
Right.
Like these Puerto Ricans, you can't stop them. Look how they turned around and they invented friggin' salsa. They invented reggaeton. You know what I mean? So like big up to all these Latinos out there holding it down for us. And you know, going back to what you said, that they're all coming back, all the freestyle artists, they may be coming back performance wise, but they never left us. They never left us. We got them in our heart. We got them in our brain. Like, you know, for example, Z1035. I try not to listen to the radio because I just don't like commercials. Right. I try to listen to Sirius XM and whatnot. But every once in a while, you put on Z1035. And Tony's dropping some Euro, and you got Danny, you know, throwing in a freestyle track, and you're like, you know what? You turn it up, and then you look at the guy beside you as you're driving, and he's looking at you, you're looking at them, and they're singing the same song because it's a freestyle track,
right?
You know, first you look at each other and go, fuck it. He's watching me sing, I'm watching him sing. You know what I mean? So freestyle will always be there for us. You know?
Yeah, you know what? You said it right. It'll always be there. Cover Girls, Expose. You know, they're. Right. I think that they're. To me, it's like, you're right. They never left. But there was always that gap where it's like, where was it? But it's always in our soul. We always played it.
Yeah.
But then you start seeing more, like, and I get it. As soon as social media starts to just explode, that's where you see all the different events that people are happening of the freestyle artists.
That's right.
And all of them coming back, and you can read all about them online because back then there was no internet.
No.
How'd you read about them?
There was nothing.
I didn't fucking know about them. I just know they had beautiful music, and their music was amazing.
We wouldn't have known about Joy Sims if it wasn't for the internet. Like, we wouldn't have known about that. We would have heard maybe 5 years later, right? And I appreciate the internet for that. Like, for example, what you're doing right now. You know, like when I walked into your house and, you know, we were shooting the shit upstairs, you know, having a coffee. And I said to you, you know, everybody sees the glory, but nobody sees the story. But I got to give you, you know, like, props, bro, because what you're doing, I appreciate that, you know, because a lot of people may turn around and say, you know what, he knew somebody, that's why he's spinning there. But they don't know, you know, next May, it'll be 40 years in the industry. And I think that I thank you because I'm putting it out there. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that, man.
It's the truth, bro. It's the truth. You know,
I've been trying to get in this fucking studio for I don't know how long, man. You know, right after hiatus, boom, get him into the studio. You know, but no, listen, I appreciate the kind words, and in all seriousness, you know, it is. We try to support, you know, all the talent that we have that never left us.
That's right.
Okay. You know, and new talent that's coming up. I'm loving new DJs that reach out to me and say, "Hey, listen, Dave, I saw your podcast, you know, with Deandra. Big up to Deandra, man. DJ.
Yeah, she's the underground princess right now, baby girl.
Like I said, I think she is the youngest female house DJ that's coming up. And I have Matt Mavro, who was my first guest of the 2-part series. and he works for Red Bull, DJs for Red Bull, and that sort of stuff. And you know, when they talk to you, and you can feel that they are old souls,
very old souls,
right?
Yeah.
Like they're not like, my first thing is I started on a this, and I pressed auto sync, and now I'm a DJ. It's not about that, you know.
No, not at
like,
all.
You know, you look at DeAndre, look at Matt. When they both started, they started practicing with a mentor.
That's right.
Or they tried out themselves, like on vinyl, you know, and just worked hard at it, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted those two to come on and talk about their story. And I think, and to go back to the new DJs, seeing them come up, I think it's great. I mean, not all of them are all DJs, but at least they got the passion to mix music and make music.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to show them all respect, because we all share the same vibe, the same passion for what we do. But the only thing I can say about that whole topic is, if you can get your hands on some turntables and you're new, and I'm talking about Technique 1200s, like the ones I got tattooed on my hands.
Both hands.
Both hands.
Both right. Fucking Both hands, man.
Yeah, if you can get your hands on some vinyl and some Technique 1200s, give it a try. You may not like it. You may fall in love with it. But I'll tell you one thing. These 80s DJs, such as myself, and going back all the way, you know, like to Studio 54 and, you know, and like I said, Grandmaster Flash and stuff like that, guys that they taught us, going back to them. And if you introduce these 80s DJs to any new piece of electronics, it's like riding a bicycle. It's so easy for us to learn because we learned with vinyl. I mean, I remember a competition way back. I think it was Fresh Records out of Woodbridge. Fresh Records.
Wow, buddy.
Yeah,
we crossed paths, you and I, for sure.
Yeah,
man.
So the competition was at Rio Banquet Hall.
Yes.
And I remember JC Sunshine was one of the judges. I believe Rob was the other judge.
For the Sunshine Crew.
That's right. Yeah. So I remember entering that competition, and there was 150 DJs, and narrowed it down to 30. But I'm getting to a point with this, going back to what we were saying to the new DJs. We had 15 minutes to do a mix, and I mixed 32 records in 13 minutes using 3 turntables back then. Now with today's technology, you can triple that. You can triple that, quadruple it, right? And it's beautiful. I love it. You know, it's really great that you can, you know, loop, you can remix, you can do whatever on the fly. But you got to learn where your history came from as well. You got to learn how it started. Like, for example, hot cues, right? Yeah, you do your hot cues on Record Box. You do your hot cues on Serato. But I used to use a fucking crayon, you know? And that's what Grandmaster Flash taught us. Like, use a little crayon, a white crayon. And it had to be white or yellow because the club is dark, right? So you got to be able to see it. Those were our hot cues. We used to buy a stopwatch, and we would do the formula to get our beats per minute, and put a little piece of tape on the. You remember that? Like, that was crazy.
You're taking me back, buddy.
Yeah, bro. You know what I mean? And you get the beats per minute, and you put the little sticker on your actual record.
Yeah.
You know, and then you set up your crate with beats per minute. And as you start evolving, you're like, you know what? Yeah, I got this all beats per minute, but this doesn't sound right. This one doesn't sound like it goes with that one. All of a sudden, you're training your ear to something that's called keys. Right. You know what I mean? And you're like, wait a second, keys. Okay, I get it. Like the keys on a piano. Yeah, this doesn't sound right, but the beats per minute aren't proper. Okay, we got to transition it somehow. Well, what do? Being an 80s DJ, you turn off the turntable and it starts slowing down. There's your transition. You know what I mean? So, to all you young DJs out there, try touching some vinyl. Try touching some turntables, guys. You'll fall in love. I'll tell you that right now.
From the fucking master himself, man. Christ, that's a great little history lesson.
Yeah, bro.
That took me way back. I'm like my hands like a little kid watching a fucking, you know, watching someone just talk, and it's like, yes, it's exactly how it was.
That's how it was, bro. And you always had to have a crew of 3 to 4 guys to carry the crates.
Oh,
always.
Man.
You know,
the bass spins, bass spins back then too, right?
Right.
For private parties.
But the crates, you know, someone was always eyeballing your crates because you always got records stolen. I mean, G Money got crates stolen. I got crates stolen.
You talked about that too.
Yeah, and when you talk to like Henry, for example, Cartel, his brother, Cartel goes, I was my bodyguard. I was my records bodyguard. You know, he goes, nothing ever went missing. The nicest guy in the world, the sweetest guy in the world, like probably the greatest person I've ever met.
Love Henry.
And all of a sudden he turns into like, nobody touches my records. You know what I mean? Because that's your library. That's your library, and you never get rid of your library.
No, I know.
You know, that being said, I got, I don't know how many crates down in the basement in my house. And I no longer have my Technique 1200s. I don't regret it because, you know, you got to go with the flow. You got to go with the times. And I've gone all digital now. But those records, they no longer belong to me because they've been claimed by my daughter. My daughter claimed those records. She goes, Daddy, these are mine now. I'm like, baby, you can have them all. She goes, as a matter of fact, I want you to buy me a Technique 1200. I go, whatever you say, baby, I'll do it. You know what I mean? So she claimed them. There you go, man. Those awesome, records are going to live forever.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Of course. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. And that's where the next generation
that's right
keeps the old tracks alive from Prince, Michael Jackson, to Bob Marley, to, you know, to even classic rock like Pink Floyd, AC/DC. You know, I love hearing about the new gen coming up and loving the music.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, man, because like when you go on YouTube and shit or TikTok or whatever, and you see these little kids, 6-year-old kids, and I'm talking today. I'm not talking old footage today, and they're singing and dancing to a Michael Jackson track. You know, a man that passed away many years ago, a man that started with, you know, the Jackson 5, and he was just a little boy way back. And they're still singing and still dancing to Michael Jackson. This is why I always try to remind everybody. And believe me, it's not a shtick. I'm not bullshitting.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, I'm just a DJ. That's all I am.
Right.
I'm just a DJ.
Yeah.
They're the people that you have to give the respect to. You know, the people that made these songs, you know, like Quincy Jones, you know, like if it wasn't for Quincy Jones, we wouldn't probably have Michael Jackson today.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, this goes out to all performers and all DJs. Let's remember, guys, let's not let that head grow.
Right.
Let's stay grounded.
Right.
Let's stay humble and just recognize and remember we are just DJs. Because if I spin in an empty club, nobody knows whether I'm good or bad. So if it wasn't for the people, and if it wasn't for the music, if it wasn't for the staff, if it wasn't for the location, I'm nobody.
Right.
At the end of the day. So this is a collaborated effort. It's like a chain. We're all part of a link.
Right.
All of us are a link in that chain.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I always remind people, guys, we're just DJs. You know, if Prince didn't write this, what were we gonna do?
Right.
You know, the world would just be shit. That's it.
Well, Prince wrote tracks, wrote songs for artists that you would never even think would collab with each other.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So artists of like Metallica, turn to Prince for lyrics, turn to Prince to write music for them.
Yeah.
You know, I believe even Melissa Etheridge, you know, just genres, different genres,
That's right.
reached out because that man, Prince, was Prince.
That's right.
There's no genre. You said it perfectly. There's no genre.
That's right.
He would write of love and passion and just the lyrics that guy came with. And when he fucking grabbed that guitar, I'm gonna go into Prince a bit, but like when he, like I always like I'm on YouTube just looking at some stuff, researching, but I'd watch him do like my favorite all-time performance was his halftime Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And you need to watch that because honestly, like when he did Purple Rain, okay, it fucking rained.
Oh yeah, I know. The skies opened up.
It rained on him, singing Purple Rain, and I'm fucking like shaking. I'm almost fucking crying because it's like, you know, this man could, you know, tell the gods what to fucking do.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, and I get it, and that's in.
Or when he came out in Coachella and he does Creep. Come on,
right?
Like that's crazy, right? And that's just his music. The man was ahead of his time because when you hear the lyrics, I'm not a man, I'm not a woman, I am something, you know, you'll never understand. Just think about it for a second. Like the true symbol of androgyny. When you looked at him, you go, wait a second, he's got high heels, he's got eyeliner, and he kind of looks like a woman. And I'm in elementary school saying, okay, where do I get eyeliner? Because I want to put on eyeliner. Where do I buy purple clothes? Because I want to look just like him. So for all you people out there that are shy or afraid or it's taboo to talk about sexuality. Look at that man right there, because I followed him to a T.
Yeah.
So much so that maybe I shouldn't say this, that I went and got a freaking perm because I wanted my hair to look. I got a fucking perm, bro, because I wanted to look just like him. I remember being in grade 8, grade 9, you know, and I'm like putting on eyeliner, and my dad goes, get over here for a second. And I'm like, oh shit! Oh wait, hang on, Dad. I gotta go to the washroom real quick. So look how I turned out. Everything's good,
No,
you
course,
know.
man,
And
of course.
that's a role model right there.
Huge role model. He actually changed a lot of. He changed and created, you know, directions for people to, you know, whether they, you know, the transitions.
That's
and,
right.
And
That's
like
right.
He was open about everything.
That's right.
You know, he called out everything. He was very upfront about everything. Like, you know, you even talked about before he passed away, you know, about, you know, today's technology, about auto-tune when people are singing. And then, you know, the you know, commentator was like, hey, listen, or the interviewer was like, hey, look, what's your take on auto-tune and the voice? Have you used auto-tune? He looks at him and he goes, man, what you hear from my mouth is what you hear.
That's right.
There's no auto-tune.
That's right.
Okay. And he was trying to imply that everybody should just speak what they speak, enjoy the vocals of what comes out of their mouth and the tone level. Mm-hmm. Okay. And like that, like I'm telling you, the man was like way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
And when he passed away and they found that old bank, I don't know if it was in Cleveland or I don't know where it was, or Minnesota, it was full of lyrics, handwritten lyrics, and records that never been released.
Yeah.
That blows me away, man.
Yeah.
I would sit there and read it and just like, oh my God, it's crazy. But hey, listen, rest in peace, Prince. He will always be our inspiration.
That's right.
You know, and I still play tracks to his day of remixes or original tracks. You know, I love it. You know, people love it. They enjoy it at parties and that sort of stuff, and that's what keeps us going as a DJ.
I do a mashup that I've been doing since way back, and it's When Doves Cry and Planet Rock, the acapella of Planet Rock. You got to hear this mashup. It's just dirty.
Where is it, man?
No, I don't have the tracks.
I got both acapellas of.
But I'm telling you, it is such a dirty mashup. Like so much so that I used to use it everywhere, right? Yeah. And people would turn around and say, yo, man, you know, I knew you were here because, you know, I heard the mashup, right? Yeah. And that being said, you know, something cool happened when I opened for Junior Sanchez just a couple of weeks ago over at the Wiggle Room. This cool cat comes up to me and he goes, hey, man, he goes, I was downstairs with my buddy. We were waiting to come into the club, but he's having a cigarette. He goes, but hang on a second. So I was listening, and he goes, oh, man, Junior's on right now. Drop your cigarette, man. He goes, let's go upstairs. And I go, you talking about me? And he goes, yeah, man. He goes, I know your sound. I was like, oh, shit.
Love it.
I go, that was so crazy to hear that, man. He goes, I know when you're on, brother. And I was like, oh, man, thank you so much, man. Like,
that's awesome,
Yeah,
man.
that was crazy, man. That was
you
crazy.
See, people know your style.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You know. Welcome 4Migs. Welcome to the chat room on Twitch.
Yo, what's up, Migs?
You know, so we're just checking out. I can't read all the other chat rooms. I'm sorry. If you're on Facebook or Twitch or YouTube, I probably could see it. But listen, you're hearing us. We're talking live. There's no recording here and there. You know, we got some cool beats in the background. You know, we're going to enjoy some drinks. But listen, I'm happy you're here, man. Like, is that, you know, you have the story to tell. You have people that you've played with and, you know, you've opened for, you know, and it's awesome. And I think, you know, being at that stage in your life where it's like, okay, you know what? We've got a beautiful family, got a career going. Now you're getting back into music again, you know, into DJ, not music, get back into DJ again. It is a great feeling because the fact is that if we decided to continue down that path before we were married, like you said, where would I be?
Yeah.
Would I have my beautiful family? Would I have the beautiful home? Would I have like friends, family? Would we be that way? Yeah. You know, and it's like I tell the young DJs coming up, I'm like, what direction you want to go with? Because if you want to be the DJ that just fucking presses play and puts their hands up in the air and making $1 billion, is that really what you want to do? Is that a DJ? Is that really what you want to do? To me, that's, in my opinion, short term.
Yeah.
Okay? It's all short term. things like us where we were in vinyl transitioning into, digital and back to vinyl and combination of digital vinyl with Serato.
I remember even using tapes, man.
Right?
The tape recorders with the pitch control on it. Yeah.
Even when that left and that came into CDs.
That's right.
And we were into that. So we transitioned and we got with the times. So I always tell the young cats, go back old school.
That's right.
Get the vinyl going.
Yeah.
Get that sort of stuff going and feel it and hear the music.
That's right.
So what I'm trying to get at is I want them to focus on a career that if DJing is what they want to do, then or producing music is if that's what they want to do, then let's focus some energy on that. But say to yourself, is this really going to make me make me my career, make me some money? Okay.
That's right.
Because we are, in the end, listen, we have to live, man.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have to play for what we're worth.
That's right.
Okay. Yes, we play for love. We play for music and our friends. I get that,
Yeah.
But if you're going to make a career out of it, you can't do it for X amount of dollars that you can't make a living off of.
That's right. Now, unfortunately, today, as good as social media and the internet is, there's also the downfall as well. That everything you said is very good pointers, and we must address the fact that if you do want to be a producer, if you do want to be an artist, unfortunately on the internet, it's so simple to just download music for free. So the fact that you turned around and said, okay, yeah, if you want to make money with this and all that, but you got to have something to fall back on.
Right.
You got to, like, a career, a trade, whatever it may be, because at the end of the day, a lot of these artists, whether you know it or not, and it's because of shows like this one, you find out, wait a second, he's a construction worker? Oh, damn, I thought he just sat at home and made music. I thought that's all he did. Because if we're going to expect guys like David Morales and Junior Sanchez, names like that, to just make music and they're crossing their fingers and hopefully everybody buys my music, they're going to starve. They're going to starve. That's why they do so many other things like fashion or perfumes, colognes, or whatever it may be, right? They market themselves in so many different other avenues, right? So you have to think about it. If this is what you want to do in your life, by all means, go in head first, dive into the deep end. There's nothing wrong with that, but have a plan B. Always have to have a plan B, just in case. Not that it doesn't work out, because you got to follow your dreams. You got to strive. You got to, eye on the ball, eye on the prize, and keep going. If it fails, it's not that you failed. It's just it didn't work out.
Right.
But can you imagine putting everything into it and you fail and you got nothing to fall back on? Like nothing at all. Like, for example, just here in Toronto, for example, Z1035, we have, what's his name? They're DJ Danny D. Yes, he's the marketing director, music programmer. Yeah, that's what he is. Yeah, okay. But he has a daytime job. Now, I'm not at liberty to say what he does because, that's up to him. But he has a daytime job other than just DJing and doing all that, because we got to make ends meet. We have
100%.
to. And here we go. Once again, you turn on the radio and you hear Danny D's on the radio. You see the glory, but you don't know the story. You don't know the struggles. Yeah. He's up there. But you don't know how hard he has to work for that. And
for sure.
Yeah. So what you said right now, that was very good advice, guys. It's very good advice, and you should take it. Dave knows what he's talking about. Yeah,
dude. We all know we're both humble. We want to help. We want to share. It's exactly what it is. We want to share because we don't want to bottle up inside. You share the love with your daughter, your kids, with the music, and I share with my family and DJs, or even other DJs.
That's right.
We don't hold it in. We're not the fucking best.
No. Far from it.
But we're humble about it. But I'll tell you, we're passionate about it. We know we can fucking rock a party.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So even though I am always fucking nervous going into a set or into a show.
Oh, really?
Always. I'm ask my wife. Even when I do our local bar where I throw parties every 3 months, I don't fucking eat. My anxiety is fucking, and I never worry about shit. Like I'm a guy that never worries about it. But but you know what bothers me, and I tell people all the time, and I'm sure that they'll know when I say it. My biggest fear, okay, is what song am I going to open up with?
Oh, no way.
That's my.
So I don't think it's that you're nervous. I think you're just excited, bro. Like, you know, it's
a combination.
There's a thin line, right? And the reason I'm bringing this up is, I've only been nervous, and believe me, I'm not trying to, toot my own horn, right? I've only been nervous once in my life, like literally nervous, where I was about to cry, and that was my very first gig. All right, and it's just freaky that Junior Sanchez is coming to the Wiggle Room, and I'm trying to tell my wife, do you realize the magnitude of this? Let me show you who this man's worked with. And I show her Madonna, Daft Punk, Armand Van Helden, Sneak, Roger Sanchez, and the list goes on. And then I go, okay, I'm going to show you his net worth, right? Because my wife is European. She's all about numbers. It makes sense,
of course,
right?
Man.
Because she wants stability, right? Yeah. She wants to make sure the kids are all right.
Yeah.
She goes, oh, shit. She goes, you're DJing for the real deal. And I go, this is the real deal, Holyfield. That's what this is now. And believe it or not, bro, I was freaking nervous. I actually had butterflies. Right. So I called up a cousin that's, he's both my cousins, Jose, big up, and Jessica. I called them and I go, and they're younger, but I don't look at them at younger or older. I look at them as my cousins, my equals, right? And I go, yo, I'm actually nervous. So the one cousin, Jose, he turns around and he goes, you're in your element, bro. He goes, what are you nervous about? And his sister, Jess, she turns around, she goes, babe, this is what you were born to do, right? And I was like, oh, man. I go, this is what I needed. This is what I needed. Yeah. So I go up there and I start doing my thing. Believe it or not, the first 3 songs, I couldn't hear the songs. The headphones weren't working.
Oh, no way.
So I had to text the Keen, right? All it was a loose wire. That's all, a loose RCA, right? But anyways, he goes, how the hell did you, mix those 3 songs and it wasn't working? And I go, never mind that. How did Yogi do his 1 hour set? Because Yogi did a 1 hour set like that.
Headphones?
And he was standing behind me. And I go, Yogi, did you have a problem with the headphones? He goes, yeah. And I go, see, that's an OG right there. That's an OG. Me and Yogi, we're the same age, 52 years old, same age and everything. That's an OG right there. And I go, how'd you make it work? He goes, well, I lifted the jack up halfway and you can kind of hear it, but it was distorted. But look, he made it work. Right?
Wow.
So after the 3rd, 4th song in, the butterflies were gone, man. They were gone. And when I saw Sanchez walk in, I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but I get starstruck. I really do. And when he walked in, I was like, oh, shit. And it, what was so dope about the whole situation is he jumped over to me and hugged me and, hey, man, how you doing? And he was hyping me up as I was doing my mixes and everything. And I go, this is how it should be.
Right.
There should be no animosity.
No belittling, none of that
stuff. None of that stuff, and that's why I think the chemistry, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't watched or heard G Money and myself spin together, you don't know what you're missing, because the chemistry between me and that bad boy right there, it's like we were born together like twins. Like
you're one.
Yeah, we feed off each other's energy. He'll put on a dope track and I put on a dope track. Yeah. He'll do a little this, a little that, because he's like the greatest showman on earth, right? And then I'm like, okay, I got to step up my game. I got to do a little trick. I got to scratch. I got to do something, right? Yeah. But it's just perfect chemistry. And at the end of the day, it's not like I did better than you or I did better than you. No, it's like, bro, I love you. And these are 2 grown-ass men saying, I love you. And that's the one thing the world needs today. None of this, men don't say I love you to another man. Yeah, we do.
Right.
Yeah, we do.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that.
We're all brothers, man. We love each other, man.
That's right. So, yeah, man, I get it, man. The butterflies, I get it. I hadn't had that since 83, man. And I was actually shitting my pants when Junior Sanchez, you know what I mean?
Fuck. I get that still, man. It's like, I think it also depends on, how you're transitioning into your set too, right? Like I guess because of the butterflies or the anxiety for me is because because all you're hearing first right now when you're at a bar is the background music.
Yeah.
Right. And then all of a sudden you come on and you're starting off like from a standing still.
That's right.
Start, how are you going to start off, right? And I'm not saying that yours is easier, but you've got the house music playing in the background. You can mix it in. You got the big hype. People are there for you.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just giving myself
You're
less
getting
credit,
in your
but
head, bro. You're
yeah,
getting
you
in
know
your
what?
head.
Fuck it. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
I'll,
you know
I'll
what?
tell you something that G did, okay? And it was the night of the Saliva Commandos. So here I am doing my set, and I'm enjoying myself. I'm in my element. Once again, no nerves, no nothing. I was just doing my thing.
Yeah.
And I tried to pay respect, homage to Saliva Commandos, and I was playing a lot of his tracks. Now, G, being the professional that he is, he called me up and he goes, yo, which ones are you going to play? That way we don't overlap,
Right.
and
Right.
we don't play the same ones.
Yeah.
Now, we turn around and I do my set and everything, and not for nothing, it was a very good set. I brought fire, and it wasn't to outshine or anything like that. It was just like, I feel bad. George Aponte, he's not here. Saliva Commandos is not here. So let
Big
me
up
give
to George.
Yeah, so let me just give you something that at least you feel like he's still here in spirit. So G comes in, and you know how you were saying the club or whatever it is that you're spinning at, they're playing one type of genre, and then you're in your head going, man, what do I do to transition? What does G do? He comes in and just kills all the music, and he just yells out loud, yo, 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 yo. Boom. He starts his set. What a fucking pro. What a fucking pro.
That's fucking balls to fucking do
bro.
that.
You know what I'm saying? And I turn around and I go to my wife. I go, you see, that's why I don't call him G Money. I call him G motherfucking Money. You know what I mean?
One,
that
you're
was
fucking
so perfect. It was so perfect.
Oh my god, that takes balls to fucking do that.
Man.
To
No
shut it
microphone,
down.
no nothing. Just boom, just stop the music, and everybody's looking at him, and he goes, yo, 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 with that big friggin' smile from ear to ear, right?
Man.
And he just ate them all up, and they started clapping. He puts his hands on his heart and presses play. Boom, he's on. He's on. That's it. And then after that, it's history, right? It's knockout.
Oh my God.
It's a knockout.
It is a knockout.
Yeah.
All you guys are knockouts when it comes to that sort of stuff, and we need more of those knockouts.
Yeah.
I think we need more diversity in our DJs to play together. Whether you're gonna do a tribal Afro house setup, and you get a bunch of different DJs, right? We need more of that, man. It's just and Takeen has a great place in the wiggle room to have a great platform for to do that. And there's guys that were before him, for instance, big up to Hubert, who has a control room. And, he brought out that platform for people who wanted to do live streams or have a small event in his place.
And November 12th, control room. I'll be there, ladies and gentlemen.
Throw that plug in there, man. So listen, you're out there, man. You're out there, which is really good. I'll be there. I'm gonna come down. I'm gonna come and check it out. It is tough when you are, you want to support all the DJs.
Yeah.
And we talked about this offline. Is like, you can't be there all the time.
That's
right. When you tell somebody you're going to be there and you don't show up, that's why I always I really don't say I'm going to be there. I'll just show up.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'll tell you, I'll be that November 12th for you for sure. Because I want to support so now what I do is I just support online. I'll share their events, on my things,
but
right?
People got to understand, life goes on and we all have priorities, right? And if guys, for example, if DJs, for example, are taking it to heart because Dave didn't show up or Junior didn't show up or Paul didn't show up, then, they should mature their mind a little bit more. Because, like, I'll give you an example. I have a very good, close personal friend that I work with. His name is Mike Gomes. Mike doesn't come to any event. Mike doesn't go on Twitch. Mike doesn't do anything music related. But every single post that I make, he's the first one to put fire, heart, whatever it is, and to say big up. And just that alone puts such a smile on my face. I'm like, he doesn't come. He doesn't. But look at his form of support. It takes a lot that he's a rock and roll guy. He only listens to rock and roll. He doesn't listen to house. He doesn't listen to freestyle or anything, but he's supporting his boy. He's supporting me just by putting those hearts alone compared to, 500 other people. Not that I don't love them. Not that I don't love them. It's just like, oh man, that one means the most to me. It means the most to me. So these people, these DJs and whatnot that you know may have a hard time because you're not showing up to support, you're not doing it on purpose.
Right.
Life gets in the way.
Of course,
and we have children, we have homes. And let's not, forget, we get tired, man. We go to work, we're tired. That's one of the biggest reasons I have such a hard time doing Twitch.
Yeah.
Because I'm just exhausted,
Right.
and to stay up till 10, 11 o'clock at night and then get up at 3 a.m. the following day, and being in construction, you have to produce.
Right.
You have to produce, because if you don't produce, you're only as good as the last screw you put in, and you're gone.
Exactly.
Right? So yeah, man, I get it, bro.
Yeah, for sure. And there's levels of support. You know, like you said with your friend.
Yeah.
Go and support the gish.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I totally get it, and I'm in sync with you on that, man. It's true. So we support each other, whether it's in our heart, whether it's on social media, whether in person. Well, there's always levels of it. Now, we talked about haters. We talked about, well, we didn't get into that, but I mean, you're always going to have someone who's going to be, calling you out or something like that.
Yeah, you know what? We don't need negativity in the world. And
no, man.
At the end of the day, I'll be honest with you. I don't have any enemies. I don't wish bad on anybody. I don't hate anybody. I don't even like the word.
Yeah, let's get out of the word haters. We have people who are. There's people who are jealous of the fact.
I wouldn't even say that we just have a disagreement. That's all it is.
Okay.
It's
keep it simple.
Yeah,
we'll keep it simple.
They're disagreeing or whatnot, but that, that's cool. I get it. I understand. It's just that a lot of people, like, we're all built differently, right? Emotions get in the way, right? And unfortunately, some people wear their emotions on their shirt. And all I gotta say is, if I do, like, I don't know. I don't know if I have people that disagree with me out there or whatnot, but take the time and just, I don't know, reach out. Let's talk. Let's hang out. Let's jam. Let's have a drink together. Then,
well, I'm glad that you said that, because it's like, you don't know if you have any or not. And it's not that we don't want to look for that either.
No,
right?
No.
We just want to continue to move forward, work forward, enjoy ourselves. If someone's going to be on the other side of the fence and that sort of stuff, whatever. Yeah, it is what it is. Come reach out, come for a drink, come to the party, whatever it's going to be.
You'd be very surprised. Like, you'd be shocked. I don't ever look for brownie points. I don't ever brag about the things I've done. I don't ever. Let's say I gave you a gift or whatnot. Third person, and you didn't know it came from me.
Right.
20 years will go by, you'll never knew it came from me. I don't need that, right? So that being said, if I do have those kind of people out there, reach out to me, because you never know. I might just turn around and say, "Yo, why don't you come spin with me?" you never know, because if you got the talent, right?
Yeah.
You can't neglect talent. Talent is talent, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, like, look at, I'm going to go back to G again, right? It's because he's such a great person, being who he is and his accolades. And if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, just Google that motherfucker, okay? Yeah. And look at his accolades and everything he's done, right? He doesn't have to turn around and say the things that he has said to me. He doesn't have to give me the confidence that he gives me. He doesn't have to big me up. He doesn't have to do any of that. But because he's not arrogant, because he's not a piece of shit, because he's a wonderful, beautiful human being, he gives me these things. He props me up. And at the end of the day, man, I always tell him, I go, bro, I followed you from way back. Like, who the hell didn't know G Money? Like, we went to the clubs, when I wasn't spinning or whatever. We went to the clubs. Oh, who's spinning? G Money. I'm going. And that's never stopped, right? So at the end of the day, we don't have time for haters. Let's just love. Besides, it's music, right?
Exactly.
Music teaches us. Like, okay, we went back to freestyle. I'm going back to freestyle. The greatest love songs ever written.
Right.
It's all about love.
Yeah.
It's all about love. Like, yes, there is some music out there that's kind of questionable, like that I just don't quite understand. Not that I don't like it, like that heavy metal stuff. And I just don't get it. It's not that I don't like it, right? But it kind of sounds aggressive, right? But other than that, like, all music is beautiful, like, if you put in any country song, and you listen to a country song, and you're like, wait a second, this is country, but literally it's the blues. It's a guy singing about someone that did him wrong, you know, and or he did something wrong and he lost the girl, right? So at the end of the day, it's all about emotions and love. And if we can keep those emotions in check and not dig in and turn it into hate, man, if we just had an ounce of love that women have, that mothers have, like for their children, this fucking world would never see a war. It would never see anything.
Very well said, man.
You know, it would never see any hatred or anything like that. Or just an ounce, man. You know, and
very well said.
Yeah, you know what? And it's crazy because we as men, you know, we're the first ones to turn around and make a silly comment about a female, you know. And that being said, when we make this silly comment, we don't realize just how hurtful it is. You know, I almost got into it with the guy at work the other day because he made a silly comment about a female and her time of the month, and I was like, you know what, man, just stay quiet, Junior, don't say anything, don't get involved. But I turned around and I said, you know what, bro, you know, maybe you should Google this. Maybe you should learn that when a woman is going through that time, that is when she has the most testosterone in her body. So just think about it for a second. She's behaving like a man, like a suck, like an idiot, you know, emotional. But prior to that, she's gold, you know, she's gold. Yeah. Right? Because let's face it, when we were going to clubs, when we were 19, 20, 21 years old, and we're sitting or standing in the club, a guy walks by, steps on your shoe. What's the first thing you want to do? You want to fight.
Exactly.
Right? Not a woman.
Yeah.
Not a woman. She'd be like, oh, man, that girl just stepped on my shoe. Oh my God. And that's it. It's over. But what the first thing, yo, man, let's go.
What's your fucking problem?
So, so big up to women out there. Big up to all the ladies up there, you know. At the end of the day, wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a woman. Right. You know.
Yeah, very true, man. Very well said on that part.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, we have amazing women talented DJs.
Oh, jeez, it's incredible.
Okay. You know, we have Melanie. We've got I got Sarah Sims, who's a good friend of mine. She's a techno DJ, right? But there's so many women DJs out there that could just tell a story, that could rock the dance floor.
Man, I've had the privilege to DJ with Melanie Sutherland. Big up, Melanie. Love your baby girl.
Big up to Melanie Sutherland.
She is so dope, man. It's incredible. And she has such an incredible vibe and talent. And that night that we showcased Deandra, Melanie, as small as she is in stature, because she's so tiny, you know, like it's so beautiful, you know, like she's
this is Melanie.
Yeah, she's like that little box where the diamond ring comes in, you know, and the diamond ring is her heart. But
absolutely.
Being as small as she is, Melanie was the biggest person on the dance floor, propping and supporting Deandra. That's a beautiful thing to see.
That's amazing.
That's a beautiful thing to see, right? Yeah. So big up, Melanie. Love you, baby girl. We're gonna spin again together soon.
We want to see all that love.
Yeah.
Pouring out of the dance floor, pouring out from the DJ booth. Just bring up music. Now, during the life of pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, so you've been DJing. You're back in the scene 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say back up a little bit when this whole bullshit started happening with the pandemic and had to shut shit down and so forth. You know, we're tradesmen, so we're essential. We worked.
We had to keep going.
You know, we had to. I mean, what would we do?
Yeah.
You know, so during that pandemic, you know, what were you doing when places shut down?
So I'm glad you brought that up because I got my cousin and her husband, my cousin Evelyn and her husband Henry. They own a clothing line, Raised by Latinos. Big up, Raised by Latinos. You can find their stuff on raisedbylatinos.com. Yeah, that's a plug.
Put it in, man.
Yeah, so they own that very successful clothing company, and they just blew up in the United States, especially Los Angeles. And they reached out to me, and what they wanted to do was they just wanted to expand a little bit more. And they approached me with this whole Twitch thing. I had never heard of Twitch. I had no idea. I don't know anything about gaming because I don't even play video games and any of that. Like if you see me behind a computer, it's either because I'm trying to teach myself how to do graphics design or I'm downloading music. It's one or the other, right? Or looking at old Prince videos, right? So that being said, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm down. You want to collaborate together? Sure. I'll bet, I'll do it. So I went out, bought myself lights, a brand new laptop. Like I just went whole 9 yards and did the whole green screen and everything. And we launched, I can't even remember the date, probably a year and a half ago or whatnot. And it was exciting. It was fun. We did it for a few months. I'd probably say about 6 months or so. And then after that, I kind of branched out. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to help other small businesses, and I did from like construction companies to Remax agents. And what I was doing, I was promoting all of them on the Twitch channel, right? Every single one of them, and all free, by the way. Like there was no fees or anything like that. It was all just out of my heart. It was all and they would send me their graphics and everything, and I would put it behind. I would display it, and whatnot. So it was like watching something, and a TV commercial comes on. But it was very, very aesthetically pleasing. It looked so good, and I just kept going with that. But little by little, I started to have a problem, and the problem's not with Twitch, because Twitch is an incredible platform. The problem is because I've been DJing for so long, I couldn't get over the fact that there's no one in the studio, and I'm looking at a camera and I can't, smell the booze or the sweat off the rafters.
Engage with the crowd.
I couldn't vibe out, and that's probably why I drink so much when I'm on Twitch. But yeah, I had a hard time with that. And but big up to all the guys out there that are killing it on Twitch, like yourself, for example, and guys like Aristotle and G Money. Like he did a pop-up last night. I woke up to use the washroom.
Same here.
Yo, man, I
2 in the morning.
I wake up to go use the washroom, and there's G. He did a pop up, and he's got like 50 something people there. People from Spain and whatever. So big up to all those incredible DJs that are doing it and showcasing what they can do and everything. And keep going. It's all good for you. But that's what I did. I did the whole Twitch thing and educated myself with that and just kept going. And I actually upgraded my equipment, got new mixer, new CDJs and stuff like that. But this was all for home, like just to, have fun and whatnot.
Right.
And sure enough, we had to adapt to this whole, craziness where the world is today, right? I couldn't go to work unless I was vaccinated, right? My wife couldn't either, right? But at the end of the day, we are a family that travels. Like we travel a lot, right? So it was like, it makes sense because now we can travel, right? But I just hope that, a lot of people that suffered, because I know a lot of people suffered through this. Anxiety. It was just brutal. I hope that they're all fully recovered. I really do, because I heard some horror stories on the job site, people's wives and stuff like that. And my heart goes out to them. But I'm no expert or anything like that. But I did have COVID, and it went away. Just like anything else, right? It went away, and I do get it in my heart. And my thoughts and prayers go out to the people that did pass away, with this whole pandemic and everything. But we can't live in fear.
Bingo.
We can't live in fear.
We can't live in fear. We can't. We all have our views on it, our political views on it, and I get it. I talked to Alan Spencer last week, and we talked about it, and he's really into it and shared his opinions on it. But to go back to you and the level of it, I was the same way.
Yeah.
I chose the vaccination because my kids told me, hey, listen, Dad, you get up there in age, we don't want you to see you get sick and hurt yourself type of stuff, right? So I'm like, you know what? And we're a family that travels just like you.
Yeah.
So it's like, what if this continues on for a while? We can't get on a fucking plane to go to our vacation or wherever we want to go because of what? And I don't want to live in fear.
That's right.
I don't want to live in it. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in the control aspect of it. I believe that we should just, we have to live our lives, man. Okay. We have to, but again, to go back to what you're saying, we had to do it. Okay. It's our choice. Yeah. It's our choice. And that's it. I don't judge people who don't. I don't judge people who do. I don't judge people who talk about this and says this and this and that. I stick to my political views based on conversation that could be offline or whatever it's going to be, right? So, and live streaming during that pandemic was the choice for a lot of DJs that only had a sole income DJing.
That's right. Yeah, okay. And I know a couple of guys like that. Yeah,
right. I'll name a guy, Rob the Boom.
That's right.
Okay, fucking awesome cat.
Big up Rob.
Big up to Rob, man. He pours his heart and soul. He branded his business. He branded himself so well, on the Twitch platform, and making money off it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And he got to spin in New York City with David Morales.
Fucking Morales,
damn.
Man. Well, more and you know what? Rob is he's amazing. He's crazy, dude, doing that. What is it? Was it a 32-hour, 36-hour?
Oh yeah, I don't know how.
Marathon?
He's a beast.
But then that's what got the attention of Morales.
Yeah,
I remember Morales.
That's right.
Saying, "Who the fuck is this guy teaching?"
Yeah.
And listen, Rob's awesome, playing all kinds of just all his music but to go back to it, yes, Twitch was the platform that we had to sort of get into, to play, to take up the time, to make some money, to enjoy. But then to go back to you, it's like, where is everybody?
That's right.
I'm looking at a camera. Typically, if I'm DJing, I'm drinking.
Yep.
And I'm out there with them.
That's right.
Dancing and playing music, or I'll have a couple people behind me. We'll chat. We'll play music, and there's nothing like that.
Yeah, there's nothing. Nothing compares, man. These guys, they adapted. Guys like Rob, and he's so skillful as well, right? Never mind the fact that he did, 32 hours or whatever. He's got so much. He's got fucking skill. He uses skill. Okay, using 3-4 decks, right? And he's another 80s DJ as well, right? Mm-hmm. But they adapted so well. Aristotle, another one, adapted.
Right.
And then in the Latino community, Mechong adapted so well that look, Mechong is on tour right now, opening for Pitbull. You know what I mean? He's in Edmonton right now, opening for Pitbull, right? So, and these are 3 DJs right there that became partner, all 3 of them, right? And as a matter of fact, he also won, I guess, best Latino award, DJ Mechong, right, from Toronto. He's from here. He's from Bradford, but they adapted, and I don't know, because I never asked Rob myself if it was difficult, if it was easy for him to transition to the fact that the man is so used to rocking massive crowds to just rocking out to a camera. I never asked him, but the one thing I did tell Rob was he's right in the middle of his set, right? And I come right up to him and I go, "Hey, Rob," and he'll tell you whether I'm lying or not. I go, "Rob, I just wanted to tell you, you suck on Twitch." He turns and looks at me with this face like he's gonna kick my ass, right? I go, "But you're so dope live," and you had to see him smile because he knew I was just setting him up, right?
Of course.
Look how small the world is, right? So about Rob, Rob's cousin is actually the supervisor for the company that I've been working for over 20 years. What a small world, right?
Small world, man.
Small world. And I also know Rob's dad. Like, isn't that crazy?
That's crazy, man.
But yeah, so big up to those guys that adapted and are successful and are doing it well.
Yep.
And all I can say is I hope I don't piss anybody off, but I think the lineup should have been a little bit different with Todd Terry. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I want to say.
Okay. People can chime in. People can listen.
Yeah.
Don't say anything, whatever. But listen, I get it.
Yeah.
To go back into the days where, you're going to get into the future now where you're going to now you're getting more bookings now. And so back in the day when you were opening up for people and you're spinning records, spinning vinyl, Serato, and you had... and you would have like artists come in with their own DJ.
I know where you're going with this. He set me up, ladies and gentlemen. He set me up.
You know what? It's a cool story, man, right?
Okay, so this is what happened. I was a resident DJ at Berlin nightclub in Vaughan. You know what? I'm going to rewind a little bit. Okay. Berlin on Eglinton. Do you remember the original Berlin? All right.
I do.
So what are the odds? I was 16 years old. I couldn't even go into the club because I wasn't of age.
Right.
So I DJ'd there when I was 16 years old. All right. Through a close personal friend, Pino Mileto, who used to own Celebration Disc Jockey. And now his younger brother, Rob Mileto, owns, what is it? That comic book store in Vaughan. I just can't remember that. Heroes.
Oh, Heroes.
Yeah,
okay.
He owns Heroes, right? And Street Pro Car Audio, I believe is what it's called, right? So anyways, plug going out to those guys right there. He got me to spin at Berlin when I was only 16. I wasn't even allowed to be in the club. Anyways, fast forward. I'm spinning at Berlin in Vaughan, and we had Craig Smart and Carl Wolf coming in on a Saturday. And it was really cool because I didn't know what Craig Smart looked like in person, only in photos. And the same goes for Carl Wolf. You know, two badass Canadian performers right there, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. So here I'm standing in the club doing a sound check, you know, lighting, you know, everything, mist, fog machine, everything. You got it, right? And the bartenders are cutting their lemons, their limes and everything, getting everything ready for the night, right? And I see this massive, the only way I can describe him is a gorilla. It was like watching Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, like just walk in. And I go, oh snap! We got a new security, right? Like
new bouncer,
right? And I go, damn, this guy's huge. Like I'm not kidding, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe 6'6", maybe bigger. I don't know.
Yeah.
So the club owner turns around and says, "Hey man, Junior, come over here. I want to introduce you to Craig Smart." And I go, "Craig Smart." So there's a smaller guy standing right beside him. I go, "This doesn't look like Craig Smart." I look up and I go, "Oh snap! This is Craig Smart." So I shake his hand, and what a mitten, man. Holy cow, what a mitt. Like, he had a huge hand. Dude. Like, honestly, his fingers were probably touching my elbows. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, man. I go, wait a second, you're Craig Smart? Yeah. And he's looking at me, and I'm like, what, 5'5"? I don't know. You know, and that's probably adding an inch. I turn around and I go, I just don't understand something. You gotta tell me what's going on here. And he's like, what do you mean? I go, you're telling me that sweet, you know, high pitch voice comes out of a gorilla like you? And you know, the owner's looking at me like, oh snap, I can't believe you just called him a gorilla. So what does he do? He laughs, and you know, I like this guy. It was all good, you know, and we hit it off, right? And turns out that the guy was beside him is his actual DJ. And you know, what basically ended up happening was we came up to do the sound check and whatnot, and I had Technique 1200 set up. We didn't have anything digital. And I had my Mac set up with my Serato, and they weren't equipped for that. They were equipped for a digital setup. So, you know, luckily for me, unluckily for him, his DJ, he had a USB stick, and he was unfamiliar with Serato. And Craig flat out asked me, he goes, would you mind opening for me? And I was like, what? You don't have to ask me, man. I'm down bet, bro.
Right, buddy.
You know, so I got to open for Craig Smart, and then Carl Wolf shows up. Man, what a fucking showman. Carl Wolf shows up, runs in between, I don't know, 600-700 people, and he just starts dancing with people, and they're like, oh my god, this is Carl Wolf. By the way, that's one of my wife's crushes, so it was very difficult for me to watch her.
I know you look watching her and him,
bro. She was rubbing him like Aladdin's lamp, man. I'm like, what are you doing? And, you know, I'm gonna kill you when we get home, but it's all good, right? It's Carl Wolf. What do you want me to do, right? But yeah, I got to open for those bad boys right there. You know, the Wolf Pack. It was really cool. It was a dope moment, and I was so fortunate, so blessed, and I go back to you know, the fact that thank God I learned with Technique 1200s, because I would have been able to pull it off whether it was one or the other, right? Because you have the knowledge of both worlds, right? Yeah. And you know, it was good, man. It was good. I'm glad. I knew you were going to bring this up,
dude. It's a good story, man. You know, it's like, you know, you obviously do not want to say anything negative about anything like that.
Yeah.
The way it perceived was the fact that, okay, you know what, the DJ that's with Craig Smart plays on a controller or CDJs or whatever it was.
That's right.
You didn't have that.
Yeah.
Right. So to go back to the DJs, and you're already playing the vinyl, so it's like the vibe is there already with the Serato and the vinyl. So like as the artist to be like, hey man, dude, continue on, man. You're killing it.
That's
just
right.
go for it.
Yeah.
Nothing bad against the DJ.
No,
not
at all. Not at all.
Not at all. Right. So some DJs are equipped to play on digital only.
That's right.
And not digital analog like Serato and
right.
with the vinyl. So it's like, why would the artist set up his DJ for failure?
That's
Not failure, but like set him up to say, well, fuck, dude, I have no idea. Or I haven't played it in a long time.
Yeah, he made the right call.
Right?
Yeah.
So he knew that, hey, man, this guy's already killing it. Fucking just keep going. Right? So there's always, you have to play it that way. You have to be quick to know that, hey, man, let's keep going with it.
I'm glad you brought that up, though, right? Like to keep going with the vibe and the energy, right? You just keep going with it. I was doing the Sea Lounge. Like I said, I used to work for the Liberty Group. And I was called on a Saturday. Saturday, I believe it was Fisher Price, DJ Fisher Price, big up. He was spinning, but he had an event. He had to go to a wedding or something out of town. So they called me up and they go, hey, man, would you mind filling in? Because usually I would fill in on Friday. Or sorry, I would spin on Fridays. But I go, yeah, I'm down. I'm not doing anything this Saturday. And by the way, you're opening up for Zeko and Torres. I was like, what?
Whoa.
I'm opening up for Zeko and Torres. And they're like, yeah, you know who they are? I go, of course I know who they are. I was like, damn. I was like, okay, cool, man. All right. He goes, yeah, I want you to just spin EDM. I go, well, it makes sense, right? It makes sense. I go, but this is the Sea Lounge. And if anybody knows the Sea Lounge, 90% of the guys dress like me. You know what I mean? So it's more of an urban crowd, right? And open format. So as a matter of fact, Paulo Fano was with me that night.
Was he?
Yeah. He was with me way back when I was doing all the open format stuff. And then he branched out to go do the underground. So he can contest to this story. My wife was there as well. So here I am doing my thing. And the first thing the manager says to me is, I want absolutely no urban. He goes, I don't want any hip hop, no dance, no urban. That's all there's to it. He goes, you can put in a little bit of top 40. He goes, but I want the whole thing. No bangers, no classics. He goes, I just want EDM. And I'm like, this guy's going to have problems tonight. And
he's
going to have huge problems. And it's not with me. It's with the crowd. Yeah. Right. So sure enough, crowd starts showing up, because these clubs, they close at 2, 3 a.m., right? Mm-hmm. Not like, like the Wiggle Room, we go till 6, till the sun is up, and you walk out like vampires, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So sure enough, I'm doing my thing, and I probably had 25 to 30 people asking me, hey, yo, when you going to drop Biggie? Hey, yo, when you going to do Beanie Man? You know what I mean? They're all asking me for it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do the right thing here. You see that guy over there standing by the bar? Yeah, go ask him. I just redirected. That's all I did. Right?
Perfect.
So sure enough, he goes and he talks. The people are talking to him, and he wouldn't change his mind. I turn and I look at Paul and I go, you know what? I'm going to make a decision right now. And I go, fuck it. I go, I'm going to transition. And I transition right down to hip hop. And the crowd just went insane. I'm putting classics on there, right? And then I start doing my dance hall. And it was just a great night. Okay. So the manager comes over, grabs Paul and says to Paul, tell Junior whatever he's doing, keep going. Just keep going. Because now all of a sudden the bar went from $2,000 to $15,000 in sales.
Right.
The bar just went crazy. Right. Not to mention outside on the patio, it was a 400 people capacity. It was rammed. Outside and inside.
Love that vibe, buddy.
Yeah, bro. So Zeko and Torres show up. I go, cool.
Wow.
They're here. Mint.
Yeah.
Right on. I get to open for these guys. It was nice. They walk in, and there was a whole bunch of chatter going on behind me. Manager and Zeko and Torres, and they're all talking. And I go, what's going on? Something's going on. It just doesn't make sense, because I'm looking at my watch and I go, they should be on.
Right.
So anyways, I get tapped on the shoulder. I turn around, and once again, Paul was there, ladies and gentlemen. He can confirm the story. I don't lie. I only lie to the cops. All right. So check this out. I turn around, and they go, well, listen, Junior, we got a little bit of an issue. And I go, okay. I go, Zeko, Torres. I shake their hands. I go, pleased to meet you. And I'll never forget it, man. Torres turns around and he goes, who are you? That's it. That's what he asked me. He goes, who are you? And I go, what do you mean? He goes, I've DJ'd all over the world. He goes, oh my God, what you're doing here right now. He goes, we should be opening for you, my friend.
Jesus Christ.
That's what he said to me, bro. I get goosebumps remembering right now. I'll never forget that moment.
Wow.
I was like, what the fuck? I can't believe he said, my wife heard it. Paul heard it. I was like, oh shit. He goes, you must give me your phone number. We must get together. We must get into the studio. He goes, you're a puppet master. He goes, holy cow, look at them all. They're just going nuts.
Yeah.
So I was like, thank you so much, man. Give him a hug and everything. Everything's good. I go, but what's the problem? He goes, well, we can't go on. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't go on? He goes, no, you have to keep going.
You got the crowd in mesmerizing, just like they're grooving with you.
Yeah. So he's like, we'll ruin the vibe. So going back to what you said, Craig Smart made the exact proper decision. Yeah. So did, Zeko and Torres. And they said, keep going, brother. So at that point, the manager turns around and he goes, are you okay with that? And I go, yeah, but now we got to talk price. You know what I mean? I still got to, I got to keep it real, right? Man. I got to keep business and all that, right? And, sure enough, it was a great night. Club closes at 3. We didn't close till 4. No one wanted to leave. No one wanted to leave. Okay. The lights were on. I was still
cranking it.
No one wanted to leave. At one point, you could ask Paul, at one point, I was playing California Love, right? Dre and Tupac. Yeah. And I'm dropping the levels on the song. And the crowd starts booing because they don't want to leave. I drop the levels, and then bang! I went right back up.
And they're just like, yes.
And they went insane. And the bouncers they just want to kill me at this point because they want to go home to sleep.
Of course they do, because now they want to get more money too, right?
That's right. So the night's over and everybody's clapping, and it just felt great. I go outside into the parking lot. Paul gets in the car. My wife gets in the car. And this is the true story, ladies and gentlemen. I put my forehead on my steering wheel, and I just started crying, bro. Yeah. I just started crying because I was like, I can't believe I just did what I just did, And I sat these guys down, man. Like I couldn't believe it. I was 40 years old, and they're asking me, who the fuck are you? And I just started fucking bawling, bro. And I remember Paul putting his hand on my back and my wife rubbing my ribs, calm down, baby, calm down. And all I did was I turned around, with tears in my eyes, and I said, this is what I was born to do. Yeah. This is it. I'm like,
what you did is exactly what you wanted to do.
Yeah, man. And it was such a big moment for me. And, fast forward many, many years later, my daughter's at Veld, and Zeko and Torres are on stage. Yeah. And my daughter being, half Latina and half Italian, she's got fire, right?
Yeah.
She turns around and tells her boyfriend, she goes, that my dad sat those two guys down. And I was like, oh my God, she's my biggest fan. I love my baby girl. She goes, my dad should be up there. My daddy could rock this crowd. She's so amazing, right? But yeah, man, that's a true story. That's something that, I thank God, and I thank for the opportunity. And once again, it was just a fluke, man. I just happened to be available, and I showed up and I did what I had to do, right? And after that, I was just, I became a regular at the Sea Lounge and at the courthouse. And at the courthouse, Yeah, we dropped a lot of, I forgot. I even did something with my boy Trans and Mia Martina. I forgot to tell you that. Yeah, that one as well. Beautiful lady. And what a voice. Yeah, what a voice. But yeah, that's how that went down, man. That was just crazy. So going back to what you were saying, Craig Smart made the right decision. So did Zeko and Torres. They were professional about it.
That must have been probably the highlight, the best gig you've ever performed at.
Yeah, bro. It was just man, just remembering that, it was crazy.
You had all different emotions going through your mind.
Yeah, it was crazy. And what's amazing about the whole thing? My wife is at every single defining moment. She's at all my defining moments in my career. Like when I met her, I was DJing. Mm-hmm. When I mentioned that competition where 150 DJs and whatnot, Real Banquet Hall, and I came in third place. JC Sunshine, I used to go to their block parties on Eglinton, right? I followed them when I was a little boy because I was influenced by these older cats that I used to hang out with.
Right.
And he was the judge, and JC comes up to me to shake my hand, and here I am, a 16-year-old kid shaking his hand, 16 or 15, I can't remember how old I was, but I'm shaking his hand, and he goes, "Hey, how you doing? I just wanted to introduce myself to you." And I go, "You're JC." And he goes, "How do you know that?" I go, "You're my idol, man." He goes, "What do you mean you're idol?" And I go, "I've been to your block parties, bro." I go, "You're JC Sunshine, bro." And he goes, "So I'm your idol?" And he goes, "Yeah." So here we go, another defining moment. He goes, "You're my idol, man." He goes, "I can't believe what you just did." He goes, "You used 3 turntables?" He goes, "Where are you from? New York? Los Angeles?" I go, "No, bro, Finch and Weston." You know what I mean? He's like, "What?" He goes, "I can't believe this." He goes, "But tonight," he goes, "you're my idol." And I'm holding his hand, and I start crying like a little boy, just crying, right? Right. And there's my wife holding me. You know what I mean? She's there once again, and that was a crazy moment, man, to have someone like JC. He's one of the baddest motherfuckers in the world, Phoenix. I don't have to tell you, JC.
Dude,
man.
you have to like, if you can unbottle this out of your head and put it somewhere on the wall that you can see every day, or like the little video on the wall, like what you've done.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, bro. Man, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
buddy.
but listen, I thank God, and I thank music, man. I thank music because I wouldn't do it if it wasn't for music, right? Like if I didn't have the passion for music. I remember being a little boy, and there's actually, pictures and video, like old, camcorder videos of me attempting to dance, just, like they're playing whatever, and I'm just going crazy, falling on the floor, doing stupidness, ripping my shirt, doing craziness, and people are like, "That guy's having convulsions," or he's having an exorcist moment or something like that, or he's just going nuts. But no, you know what it was? It was like I was accepting, I was receiving music. It was coming into me. You know what I mean? When you hear it, you're like, "Oh shit!" Like you put your hands up in the air and you're like, "Hallelujah!" You know what I mean? And that's how I felt. You know what? I'm glad. Did you watch the new Elvis movie?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, bro. And when they did that and they depicted Elvis as a little boy, and he's looking up and he's at the church at the sermon and he's receiving it. That's exactly how I used to feel, man. It was just crazy. I love that movie. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah,
movie.
It was a great movie. They should. I was hoping they would have like shown more of Elvis and the dark side of more of his dark side and because but to go back to what you were saying, a great movie. Yeah, and Tom Hanks, holy fuck, man, that guy. His manager, when he played, he played him perfectly. Like to get the music just flowing through you. Right. What would you have done if you didn't have that ability? Like, what would you be today? It's really hard to say, but what would you be today, or what was your dream? Not your dream job, but what would you have done if you didn't want to become a DJ or into music?
You know what, man? I always say, music is life, right? Music is food. Music is everything. If I was to put a color on music would be red, and the reason I say red is because that's what's in my veins, right? Blood, right? I can't see my life without music. I just can't. But if it wasn't there, I think my life would really suck. It would be just something missing. I'd have my children, I'd have my wife, I'd have my career and whatnot, but there would always be something just missing, and
piece of the puzzle.
Man, there's just something missing, like a fine watch. You got all the cogs, right? And then there's just one cog that just doesn't work. It doesn't work, or it's missing. It's not there, right? I cannot fathom my life without music. I can't. Like I was just mentioning something to my wife the other day. Here we're sitting on the couch, we're chilling. The kids are doing something. Somebody's doing homework because all my kids are like in college and university and shit, right? Something that I could never do. But here, me and my wife are watching TV or whatever, or she's actually reading something, and a commercial comes on. Yeah. And the commercial is like, in the background, there's some sort of a soca song, calypso song on, and my shoulder starts going up and down, and my wife starts moving her shoulders, and she's still reading, you know, and I'm still looking at my phone, but we're not looking at the TV, but we're moving. And then I just happen to look up and I see her doing, you know, whatever. And then one of my kids raises the volume for no reason at all. Right. And then all of a sudden we're all dancing to a commercial. And I go, okay, either we're nuts or this family is just musically inclined. You know what I mean? Like we're into this. It's just crazy. And we all started laughing because we didn't realize that we all just started, you know, it's like that scene on, is it Friends? I can't remember, where they start singing a song and then everybody starts going along with it, or on Beetlejuice, you know, like when they start singing this, you know, and that's how it happens in my house. It's always like that. There's always music, bro. Like my daughter's got a couple of parrots. And as soon as I start practicing, the parrots get into it. You see what I'm saying?
Your house is just full of musical love, man.
Bro, it has to be. There has to be music
awesome,
everywhere, man. That's our influence.
Yeah.
You know, that's my addiction.
Yeah.
That's my addiction. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? And I always think to myself, what would I have done? And to go back to your answer, it's like, I mean, I don't know what I would have done without music. What would you do without music?
I can't picture it.
Right? Yeah. I mean, you were in a hiatus. You know, I was in a hiatus as well. I stopped when I was, actually, Jesus, when we started to get into our career, we sort of just stopped, right?
Yeah.
And then never got into DJing. And then my buddy of mine, his wife's, like, he turned 40. Okay, it's like 13 years ago. Right. So almost 11, 13 years, you know, in that range. And it's like, hey, man, like, you know, we play a little bit of music here and there. And then I DJ back then. And it's like, hey, listen, you want to play some music from my 40th? I'm like, okay. So I had like I had CJ, like I had the 1000s or whatever, you know, just a very small, easy setup. Just started getting back into it. And then that, like, I felt something fucking run through me on that. And I'm sure you felt the same way when you first went back into it. And it's like, man, am I like, and I told my wife, I said, am I too old for this?
Never.
Right?
Never.
And you tell people you're never too old to start something or to get back into it.
Especially when it comes to playing music.
Absolutely, man.
The highest paid and the most popular DJs in the world are over 50.
Carl Cox. And he's 60.
That's right.
60 plus years old. The guy's a fucking phenomenal.
Danny Tenaglia, Louis Vega. I mean, it just goes on.
Absolutely.
We can do a whole show on this. It
Absolutely.
just goes on and on. And one of the things I said to Cartel in the booth is, I want to do this until I can't hear anymore.
Yeah.
And after that, I'm going to do just like the movie It's All Gone, Pete Tong, and I'm going to create sandals that are speakers. You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah,
and
man.
I'm still going to rock a crowd, bro. It's just,
it
is what it is, man.
And it will never, and that's what we're saying. What we're doing, our life would suck without fucking music.
Yeah, big time.
You know,
just a missing piece.
Yeah, man. And today's technologies, you know, and on how to bring us back into things, you know, the techniques that we use to engage to our listeners, you know, social media is huge, and your daughter helps you out with your social media. You know, you do on the Instagram. Everyone has a platform they're very comfortable with.
That's right.
And what's great about this is that it is all free. It engages with it, networks and keeps networking. It keeps growing and growing, right? So that those techniques is what you need. Like, what do we do back then? We plastered up posters.
That's right, flyers.
Okay? We did flyers.
Or we ran through a school and just threw out flyers.
Whatever it may be, right? That's how we used to do it. So, like, we used to go to the local fucking Kmart and use their printer in their photocopiers. Yeah. We'd make, you know, I was talking to Chico you about this. He said, well, you fucking did the same thing. You know, like all the flyers and stuff, right? We'd hand draw like everything,
or cut out the letters, you know,
and put them on there and photocopy it. So the techniques on engaging our listeners, engaging our followers is such a drastic change from when it was to now.
That's right.
You know, and you know, so we talked about our nervousness and how we prepared for a show. And to me, I will always still be nervous about playing. Yeah. You know, fuck, even for you to open up, if I was opening up for somebody internationally, I'd be like, oh my God, man, fuck, I don't want to fuck this up.
Yeah.
Right.
So you know what? That being said, every time I spin now, because I'm using Rekordbox, it's a lot more difficult to use Rekordbox than it is to use Serato, only because on Serato you just plug in your external hard drive and you got unlimited amounts of music, right? So that being said, the way I prepare before a show or whatnot, I think about what the crowd may like. Okay, I'm only spinning an hour and a half, whereas I'm used to 6 to 7 hours, in the open format genre. And I'll put about 4 hours of music into that set, right? And pick and choose as I go, right? I'll practice the set.
Right.
I'll ask my biggest critics, which is my family, what do you think? And my daughter will say, well, that song, no, daddy, but that one, dad, So they're listening to me. So they're an intricate part of everything I do. Otherwise, I can't do it.
Interesting, man.
Yeah, bro. So here I come up to Junior Sanchez or Addy, for example. I got to open for fucking Addy, right?
Yeah. But will you listen? You'll know what they play. You'll listen to their style.
Yeah.
And create your flow based on their style.
Okay. So that is the intention. That's the intent. All right. And when I got up, to do Addy, and I'm about to, start my set, or I start my set, and I go, wait a second, this crowd is not feeling this. Okay, the same thing happened with Junior Sanchez, and my wife is in the crowd hanging out with Rosie, Rum Shaker, big up Rum Shaker, she's chilling with her and Michelle Diva, and she turns around and says to them, this isn't my husband's set. And Rum Shaker's like, what do you mean? She goes, I heard him practice it for 4 weeks straight. I know it off by heart. She goes, this is not what he practiced, because I had to go with the vibe. I had to go with the crowd.
Right.
So I did something totally different. And then you have Junior Sanchez come in.
Yeah.
And I look at my phone and I go, yo, bro, it's your turn. And he goes, no, man, play a couple more. And I was like, what? Play a couple more. And he goes, play a couple more. So I play a couple more. I drop a Saliva Commando song. Yeah. I dropped a Louis Vega Tony Touch, Sacude.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, bro. So I turn back and I go, okay, bro, it's time to go on. He goes, yo, man. He goes, you're killing it. Put another one on. So all the while, I'm not guessing. I know what he's doing. He's feeling the vibe. And in his head, he's going through his library.
Right.
Right. Sure enough, I do the last song, and the crowd starts chanting my name, and he's chanting my name. I was like, what? Junior Sanchez is chanting my name. He goes on and transitioned so perfectly, bro. So perfectly. And I go, that is a professional right there. Yeah. That is experience right there. And all I can keep thinking is, I would have done the same thing. I would have done the exact same thing. Right. And sure enough, when I talk to him more and more and more, he goes, yo, man, this wasn't even my set. You see? He did the exact same thing that I did.
Yeah.
And that's what makes us professionals, right? Yeah. We got to be able to read the crowd. Like what I was telling you about, the Sea Lounge. I'm watching everybody wearing Yankees hats and, they're wearing sneakers and,
they're not EDM.
They're not EDM. I go, this is not going to work, and it's just not going to work. Yeah, so what kind of person am I going to be? Am I going to be a person that obeys and follows the rules, or am I going to follow the rules of music? And that's what I do. I just follow the rules of music and the crowd, right? The crowd is what tells you what to do.
Of course, man.
Yeah.
Of course. I love it.
Yeah.
What, like we talked, and this brings up to my next question was he was going to ask you, what skills do you think DJs needs to be successful? You
know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because I've had this conversation with my baby girl, Deandra, and I think every DJ that is not or hasn't touched open format should. That being said, I want to give a big, massive shout out to all the mobile DJs out there, the mobile DJs, because it's so fucking tough to do what they do, because I've done it, you've done it. Yeah. You have different age groups, you have different lovers of music, you got a baptism, You know, you got a wedding, you got a corporate function, you got people that don't drink, you got vegetarians, it's just a mixed bag. And you got to be able to rock that crowd, right? Whereas I'm in the underground, everybody shares the same love for what I'm going to spin.
Yeah.
So I think all DJs, and this is what I talked to Deandra about, with her father's blessings, right? I asked him, are you okay with me teaching her like how to do open format? And he goes, yes, I'm totally down with that. He goes, but I want her to master house music. I go, that's cool. But the sooner she masters everything, house music will just be like putting on a shirt.
Icing on a cake, buddy.
Yeah,
icing on a cake,
you know, because that's why you'll hear me. Because what I did was I married open format with house. That's why you'll hear me scratch like, you know, Bad Boy Bill. You know what I mean? I'm scratching to a house tune. Yeah. You know, and the club.
And no one, it's out of the norm to scratch a house track.
That's right. And the crowd is going, holy cow, he's actually scratching. Right. You know, or I wait for my bar, you know, my 4 beats, and I'll go and just spin it back, and the next one comes in, and the crowd goes, holy fuck, because they're not used to that, right? So what I did was I married the two styles. Right. And it's been nothing but success for me because I've done that. So it's no secret. It's not a secret at all that I do that. So to all you DJs out there, the young ones, try it, guys. You know, try some Motown, you know, try some hip hop, you know, try some R&B. You never know. You might turn around and go, you know what? Maybe I don't want to do house. Maybe I want to do open format. I don't know. It all depends on what you feel in your heart. You know what I mean? Yeah. But try it all. Try it. Be open to everything. Everything.
I think you should, man.
Yeah.
I agree. Totally agree with you on that. You're 100% right on that.
Yeah.
And again, with Deandra, you know, who's coming up and she is climbing that house music ladder. Oh yeah. You know, with a vengeance. And you know what, I'm really happy for her, for G, for Christine. Yeah. You know, a beautiful family. Yeah. And supportive. Yeah. You know, and I think that that we need more of that. We need to, as us OGs, you're more with G than I am, but as you know, us that we still have our skills and our love of music and our mindset to create a story, hand it off or share it. Not hand it off, share it with people that will bring the love back in house music, or open format, whatever. Like you mentioned that they should be listening to, you know, the old R&Bs, the disco, the classics. You know, I listen to music from the 50s. Oh yeah. You know, the 60s, all the, you know, the bebops, and you just try to figure out, you know, what can I mix this with? And, you know, and now that, you know, we get into the creation of music, or, you know, not necessarily in the production side, but let's say, for instance, Serato now has the stems where you can you can peel back acapellas and that sort of stuff. And my buddy Boj, big up the DJ Boj, he's like fucking all crazy about it now, you know. He's doing the acapellas with this beat, and this is great, which is, I love it. I think it's great. You know, when I was DJing, I used Tractor. Yeah. Okay. And Tractor, to me, they came out with, they had stems. Yeah. So as long as you had a track that's been mastered, that you can peel back all the things, I fucking was, you know, you create these mashups and acapellas and this and that. I think the creativity of that needs to be brought back or into the newcomers. Yeah. And even us, we're always learning. You and I are always learning. Yeah,
you never stop learning, man.
You never stop learning.
You can't have your head up your ass. You're always learning. You're always learning.
You know, and again, like, I don't know DJs that have heads up their asses. I'm sure they're out there. Yeah. But you know what? We don't give a fuck about them. Yeah. Let's focus on people that we share the love with, that feel the music. You know, you have a technique, or let's say, for instance, you did a track. It doesn't bother me if I try to mimic that or try to grab that vocal and make that work with something, because I'm not saying, oh, it's my track. Yeah. I don't care about my track. It's not my track. Yeah. You're playing the crowd. That's right. Whatever gets that crowd fucking rocking it, buying more drinks and dancing and shaking it. That's what to us, that's success.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know? Yeah, and you're right, man. Like, you got to think outside the box, right? And Like for example, over at Wiggle Room, I didn't think this would work, but the more I spin there, and now that Takeen has made me an alternating resident there.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you, man. I've learned what they love there, and I turned around and I think I was dropping Saliva Commando's song, and I looped it like perfectly because his drums are just fucking insane.
Yeah.
And I threw in Running by Information Society. Like I threw in the acapella.
Wow.
And I go, let's see what happens. Didn't everybody start singing the lyrics, bro? It was just crazy.
Just makes it melt,
This is the underground, and they're singing Running, by Information Society. And they start clapping and shit. I'm like, okay. These are music lovers. They're music lovers, you know? And it works. That being said, I did a set, before G, and it was a great set. And G just comes up to me. I was 2 songs left, and he goes, okay, Junior, I know what I got to do now. And I go, what's up? He goes, I'm not going to play my set. So here you go, another professional adapting to what the DJ was doing prior to him.
Right.
He goes, I'm going to play nothing but classic bangers. And I go, you do you, bro. Do your thing, man. But all I want you to do is bring fire. Like, just do it, man. Like, do it up,
Yeah, but you had the fire going.
Yeah, exactly.
And G's like, dude.
That's right.
I can't play what I got to play. I got to continue your fire.
Exactly. So doesn't he come in and first song, You Used to Hold Me. You know what I mean? And the crowd is like,
the vocals of that.
Yeah, bro.
They just used to
nuts.
hold me.
And I'm putting my headphones away and I'm jumping up and down behind him and I start fanning him with my hat. It was the very first song. And then after that, it was nothing but fire.
He is fire, man. He is fire.
But that was my whole, thing where you got to be able to do this as DJs. You know, you can't come in there with animosity and a chip on your shoulder and say, listen, you got five minutes left. Like I had Melanie Sutherland. She's DJing and I was up next and she looks at me and she goes, Junior, do you mind if I play one more? I go, no, fuck that. I go, play 2 more. What do I give a shit? Man. You're on fire. Do it, Melanie. Yeah. She goes, oh my God, you're so sweet. And then she tells me later that she doesn't get that. She doesn't get that. She gets, like, hey, you're done. Right? Get off. Fuck that, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, what's wrong with you people? We're all crumbs in the world, man. We're just little crumbs, little specks. This planet is so big, right? Just show a little bit of love. You'd be surprised. You show someone like her, for example, a little bit of love, and you're going to get so much back.
Exactly. That's what happens. You give, you get it right back.
Yeah, man. You get what you give, right?
Oh, man. Dude, that is awesome, man. Yeah, that is awesome. And we could talk for hours.
Where's the vodka, bro? Where's the vodka?
Okay, well, let's. How about we do a shot? You want to do a shot?
Let's do a shot.
Okay, so what do you...
Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anything. As long as it's wet.
Yeah, we got it. I don't have any ice, but it's okay.
That's okay.
We're going to do a little bit of bourbon.
Okay, right on.
I really want to thank you, man, for coming in today. Man. This is crazy shit.
No, thank you, brother. Thank you for doing this. Nobody's doing this. I love it.
We always have to have a shot. This is a new tradition now. I always have to have a shot with my guests here. So
right on.
You keep that in there. Brother.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, man.
This has been awesome.
And thank you to everybody out there, for the love and support that you keep giving me. You're all part of the Lopez family now. Cheers to everybody.
Cheers, brother. Cheers. Salute.
Oh, yeah. I hope the chair was noisy today.
Dude, the stories that you came up with and just feeling the love from you and just being just yourself, and that's all I want. That's all people want to know is like, okay, what's Junior gonna be doing in the future? What's he gonna be doing now? What's he gonna be doing? What did he do before? People want to know that, right? So and I really appreciate, honestly, I really appreciate you coming down and
Thank you, man. So I'm going to answer that question for you.
Yeah, man.
November 12th, Control Room. All right. It's a fam jam. And
right.
I know you're going to be there. And I can't wait to see you there. Then we got December 3rd. We got Saliva Commandos at the Wiggle Room.
Nice.
and just announced yesterday, actually just booked yesterday, back to back. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss this one. Back to back, G Money and Junior Lopez, New Year's Eve at the Wiggle Room. That's fucking record for record, back to back. Man. Okay, so that is gonna be so dope and sexy. I can't wait.
Dope and sexy. Yeah. How does that go? That goes together, man.
Yeah, I can't wait.
What a lineup, man. What a fucking lineup. And and I'll put the links up. I'm going to put the links up after the show. Well, not live, but I'll put the links up through our social media so you guys know where this guy's playing. Right on. You got to catch him, man. Catch his shows. You know, he supports and loves all DJs. Okay?
All of them. Every single one of them.
He's not about himself. And I'm super stoked that I had him on my podcast. And dude, it's been 3 hours, dude. Okay, so I know that podcasts we try to keep it at a certain time limit because you don't want to lose the crowd. But you know what? I don't give a fuck. Right you on. Had a story. We talked about so many different things. We touched a lot of things, and I hope you had a great time.
I did. This was really cool.
And for everyone that's out there, thank you so much for tuning in today, and I really appreciate you coming here and just enjoying ourselves, enjoying the drink, and enjoying just being us. Yeah. You know, down to earth.
That's it.
Not high up mighty people, no. Right? You know, and if we could just help that one person understand who we are and what we're about, that's all that matters to us. Yeah. You know, and again. Everybody, thank you so much for watching in the Noisy Chair podcast. Big up to this fucking guy, Junior Lopez, for being here, man. I'm happy he's here.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you for coming to my studio and my home.
Oh, thank you.
You're always welcome here, thank man. You. Okay.
Love and beats to everybody. Love and beats.
Yes. Guys, thank you so much. We're going to be tuning in next time, and we've got ton of great guests like this guy here, just telling their story and just being themselves, and I'm loving it. Right. Thank you. Peace out, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Peace out.